saying much, but you know, you probably heard the clickety clack. Producer Cubby strikes already, as we've got VoD reviews going for Game 2. I'm gonna get the coach of ISU in here for today shortly, but before we do that, we do have to take care of a little bit of a housekeeping. Really only for my own ego. So, yeah. Anyway, predictions, right? Oh. Yeah, you guys don't see those yet. Yep. Wait. Yep. Okay. There we go. You guys don't see those yet. But predictions for today versus the results, right? We had Zeus 2-1ing TSMA, and we had 100A 2-0ing CLGA. So I got one perfect and then one result right, so I'm sitting at 2-1-1. You guys can use that command as well. Man, we're just off to such a hot start on the stream, production-wise. Good stuff. There it is. There's the song credit. Anyway. Yeah, so that's the start. We'll go over the games tomorrow shortly, but for now, I'd actually like to bring in my guest, if he is here, the head coach of ISU. Michael also goes by, head coach of ISU also goes by the in-game name of Peter. You're trying to like help me get it right. What is it exactly?
Okay, so it's first two syllables is pay, like paying for something, pay, and then ter.
Pater.
So,
got it.
yeah, that's it.
Pater. Got it. All right, there we go. Caster, by the way. But we didn't manage to get that down. Anyway, Pater, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Sweet.
Just kind of woke up like 2 hours ago, so.
Perfect. So you
well
didn't
rested.
catch the first game of this either, is what you're saying?
No, I didn't. I caught like the whole entire second series, and then I kind of like speed ran to the first series at like 8 times.
Got it. Okay. So I haven't caught this first series either. So I'm actually going to be a little bit behind as well, as I had scrims to attend to, I should say. But that said, okay, so going in, something that I really like to do, Peter, how familiar are you with all these, like the teams that are competing in Proving Grounds? Like, do you feel very familiar? Do you feel somewhat familiar?
So the amateur teams, I would say I'm very familiar with.
Got it. Okay.
And then the academy teams, mostly familiar. There's some teams where I haven't really looked at too much, but really all the teams I've looked at a lot.
Okay. So something I like to do is talk about win cons for each team. So I don't know. I know I'm kind of like put you on the spot with like all the tape that you've seen. And then we are already looking at like the first draft, but what like overall like with like what you've seen on both these teams, like how they play, and I'll kind of like have you get started with Zeus a little bit if you are familiar with them. Like, what would you say like their win cons are, or like one of their win cons?
So I think they have 2 ways they mainly play the game,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of it depends on. I can never say his name correctly. So, is it Alarim or Alorum?
Alorum, yeah.
Alorum. Okay, Alorum. It really depends on what he's on. If he's on a weak side champion, or if he's on one of his few strong side champions. Really, whatever he's on kind of determines how they play.
Okay.
If he's on his Scion, if he's on whatever tank he wants to be on, they like just barely ever touch him. And past like the first like 8 minutes, and then after 8 minutes, is when they actually kind of recognize him as a player, and they defend him a lot from that point.
Right.
But before that, he's on his own, and they are allowed to play through. RBM kind of just does kind of whatever he wants. Sometimes it seems like he just does some inefficient clearing to be somewhere earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I've seen them play for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But if he is able to get his top side, like champions Wukong, Urgot, kind of forget out what else wacky things he kind of has. But once he gets that, it's like heavy play towards. It's like play through him through the entire game, and yeah, it just depends on which champion he gets. It depends on how they play.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a nice note. Like that's like the one like Lorum's always had a little bit like of a different champion pool compared to exactly what's meta. But he's always been able to play like stuff that is strong side and weak side. It's just like not all your meta champs. I think that's a nice note to have, and kind of defines how they play. For me with TSM Academy, I don't know if like you have more footage on them. I've really only seen them get wins like setting up Cody's son for late, and then just like kind of team fighting it out. That's like it seems to be their most consistent win condition.
Yeah, I agree, but I think it's a bit weird of how they play that out, because usually they hard play the top side. And it doesn't really ever make sense why they hard play the top side. And
Okay.
It's like, Cody always ends up being the carry anyway, but they put so many resources in the Haunter. Like, I'm not sure if he's just constantly calling for them, but like, I just don't understand why every time I've seen them, it's like they have Cody, who's not even arguably, I think he's just the best player, like, by far. And they just constantly just put things away from him, but they just manage to get ahead because they are better than most other amateur academy bot lanes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not high on TSM Academy coming to this tournament. I had them as like my lowest tier team coming in, or like in the lowest tier teams. I think that like their team overall, like it's lacking like a lot of like it's just lacking things, right? I'm surprised you say like they play through like Haunter a lot. I've actually seen them like probably not commit as many resources in the Haunter as other players, and also like I think the Cody Sun like has not been performing that well, but looks good later because he still team fights well. Their team fights well, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if you like, do you like have any thoughts on that, or are you like kind of sticking like the fact that like Cody's the best player would set him up for late?
I mean, this is mostly what I saw. I think, was it UGP they were in? Whatever tier 2 thing they were in. That's just what I saw kind of most of the games, and
yeah, and that's the tricky part, is that we haven't seen either of these teams in like over a month. So
yeah,
there's gonna be a lot of surprises today and a lot of notes to learn. But anyway, cool. So those are the win cons. All right, going into the draft, I've got it freeze framed. You should be able to see everything nice and clear too, Peter. The best that my crummy internet has to offer. We've got draft coming in here. Just fast forward all the way through. They end up locking in the Orianna. Some early priority. You mentioned the Alorum champs. So we have Urgot taken away. We also saw a lot of Senna play coming out of Zeus, and Thresh denied to give Raheen more safety. We open up with Rel and give away Tristana Hecarim. What do you think of like the opening three, like from each side? Or, like, do you have any thoughts like initially?
I think the opening 1 for TSM Academy is completely fine. Opening 1-2 for Zeus is completely fine, but it doesn't make too much sense to go into acting Italy here. I mean, you're asking to play away from. Well, so obviously Zeus, no matter what, is probably going to be playing towards Tristana here, whether it's mid or box.
Yeah.
They kind of already shown that they're playing to that, and what TSM Academy is showing is that with that middle, they play the top, obviously. These are just known factors that now everyone has, and when you have someone that loves to play weak side anyways, and that's very proficient in it, and if you have any sort of scouting, you should know that he is fully capable of doing that. You kind of ask him to play into how Zeus wants to play the game. Like, it's like there wasn't any scouting on Zeus here. It just doesn't make too much sense to want to do this versus Zeus. It's like it's just asking for like, hey, give me your activity. I'm gonna smash this guy when he hasn't played 1,000 games of Cyan versus Renekton and understands the matchups are key.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're I mean, what TSM has is they've got Nidalee with gank assist in 3 lanes, and they're trying to roll early. Zeus have some ways to deter that, right? They have Scion, a little bit harder to dive. Tristana can at least buffer some things, right? And then Orianna with Phase Rush is into set. You can get on her, but there are ways that Zeus can play defense, but it's definitely like offense, defense early, right? All right. Anything else before we hop in the game?
I think the Jinx on Blue 4 is a bit surprising to me, honestly.
Okay.
Really the only reason I'm behind that is, you're giving away a support counter pick. um, because you already picked the rel, and then you blind the Jinx, and that's fine. But if you're gonna do that, it makes sense to do it a bit earlier, because they already show when like by picking the Hecarim plus Chess, they're already kind of committed to some sort of like dive. And if they're not committed to dive by some sort of way, Hecarim's not going to be a champion. And so picking, I don't know, oh, Zaya was banned, but still something that's like kind of anti-dive here would have made a bit more sense.
Yeah, like you do have set, like you have set Renekton for Peel, but it's definitely a pretty big ask out of Cody's Son to try and navigate Hecarim, Orianna, Gragas, Tristana as a Jinx, with like no Thresh and no TK. Not the easiest thing in the world. But yeah, we're gonna have to see if we can navigate it. All right, we're probably gonna run these at 2 times. Let me know what your quality's like throughout this. Oh, okay, I'm gonna hop back a few. But I know that we have 6 games that we've committed to today.
Not bad.
No regrets on my end, I swear. I have tea, I have water, we're okay.
This is on 10.6, right?
This is on 10.6, yeah. So opener, we have the ward down on Raptors to try and track the Hecarim. Hecarim is going for leash in this matchup. And then Nidalee's pathing towards top prio. So yeah, going towards that Renekton most likely. As I think Hecarim is skipping Krugs.
Yeah, I don't exactly like what Haunter's doing here. I really think he should have pulled the wave. Not pulling the wave says he wants to look to maybe dive on 3. But then Italy also then full clears doesn't. Again, it's like they're trying to do different things here. Unless he ends up a cheater, and if he just cheaters, whatever, Sign does not care about that.
Yeah, because like,
anyway.
yeah, Nid, it's not like top's the only place that Nid can go, right? Because theoretically, like, this is the Nid dream, right? You have 3 lanes you can go towards that should be winning real early. You can blow one of these up. As all sums out of bot lane now, and then we see a Lauren back off in response.
Yeah, everything's like okay for both sides here.
Yeah, so they were able to pull off the dive on 3, and Alorum does lose a lot, right? And then they at least open up sums, and RBM is going to get the respawn Kruggies, which feels pretty good. Oh.
Oh, wow, that's unfortunate.
Oh, the Chompers.
Yeah, I think that would have actually maybe been a 1-for-1.
So, like,
Triss doesn't get stopped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Chompers, yeah. That's still tricky for Raheen. So, Zoo, I'd say that Zoo's overall, like, they could have, like, taken the Krug camp and, like, tried to, like, dive on Cannon Wave instead. They did have the Minion Wave stack, but it's really tough to dive Raw Jinx with that.
I think the bigger problem here, regardless if this works or not, is actually Haunter's TP. You just put Middle East Pathin into playing towards Renekton, forcing sign off wave, and then you immediately just say, "Hey, our advantage we just had top. We don't want that anymore." And this really isn't a time where Renekton should need to. Like,
yeah, it's having both was probably a little bit overkill, and then he gets punished for it a little bit. This is a big punish going down on RBM.
I saw this, and you're gonna hate this.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this is stuff I did see. There's no world where it should ever die here. Like, ever.
Okay. So, Babbitt gave a gift. We didn't use our flash. Okay.
But also, yeah, look, from that top play, like, look at, like, top wave is just, like, Sion is now in heaven.
Yeah. So it's gonna meet even wave state here, and then he can shove this in and crash, and then get out of here. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, like, the overcommit. Like, I feel like all they need here is set TP. Just because, I mean, like, the traps are miracle traps. Like, even if this play goes through, and let's say Raheen, like, jumps out and only, like, picks up 1 kill, I feel like Set can still play some defense with, like, how low the health bars are and how strong Set is early, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, based on what I saw from after this replay, if you look at midway, this is a terrible TP timer for Set also. Like,
Yeah, it's tough. Like you're definitely going to like salvage the play, but also like you don't care about resources as much on set as you on Jinx, right? So like you're making a conscious choice as well.
yeah, but sacrificing 2 lanes as when you're playing
Oh yeah,
top
yeah,
guys mid
100%
lane.
agree. They didn't need to there, right?
Yeah,
Um,
they're just asking to. Well, once the solo lanes start losing, which I mean, Ori's gonna actually start winning way sooner than it ever should be because she's so far ahead now.
yeah, this is huge for Zeus too. The fact that they get the first dragon just off base timers. Um, like they got that for free, right? Like RBM doesn't have any camps on that side of the map. He can't counter jungle at the moment because his bot's resetting. It was a really good timer for Zeus.
Yeah, I think so far this is just Zeus playing their lanes better and they're like not skipping steps between.
Yeah, they just got Bab's flash and killed it. Okay. Oh, how does this happen? So a Lorem contests the wave. Haunster takes a freebie. Babip's pulling the wave. And then RBM's like... Yeah, because they burned the double TPs, so they can't go for this if they want to respect Dark. And they saw Hecarim on the ward here. Hecarim spotted right here. Look.
Yeah,
Or,
I mean.
yeah, you can't see my epic pen, but I drew it.
I am looking at your stream also.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. He walks over the ward, so they can't go over this point anymore right here. And they still go, and they get punished. It's like definitely like one of the things that like why that like some of us were low on TSM coming in here is like stuff like that should be communicated and like they need to pull off that. And Zeus got punished.
Yeah, but again, I think that
Raheen.
stems from what happened earlier. Like,
oh no, 100% does.
yeah.
But they also need to like respect the TP window, right?
Yeah, of course. But if they can't play their waves properly, like if they're trying to make plays before their waves are in correct position,
Yep.
and then all this like any sort of lane advantage, any sort of like any advantage just goes away like so fast.
No. All right, we got Herald coming up now. Raheen gets a nice kill in lane. That's like the one note I've been critical of Raheen for is not laning well. That was good 2v2 from him and Rhino. They aren't supposed to win that matchup against Jinx Rel early.
I mean, no, they shouldn't lose it. Like they can definitely win it.
Yeah, like you're gonna be down CS, and like if Rel plays well, you can never really all in. So
it only becomes really impossible for them to do stuff if Jinx takes exhaust. And then if they do that, it's not completely like it still should be winning for Trist if they're playing correctly.
So, oh boy. So Babip's having himself a little bit of a game, but also I actually don't know if RBM is spotted by the crab, and he was already zooming by the time he hit that control ward. So
can you go back 15 seconds?
Absolutely.
I can't see on the yeah.
Oh no, he is spotted.
Yeah. So
wait, he's spotted here, and then they see him in bot river the entire time, and they still opt to go for this all in. Like they are level 6 versus 5, so I get it, but like this is once again like your TP window, right? Like, you don't have support to play like a maniac like this. Because if you can set this up and play like a maniac and set up a dive, it's good. But since they don't put that together, then they get punished really, really, really hard.
Yeah, so I think actually go back into where Nidalee and Hecarim are spotted together. Yeah, so I think this is actually more a bit here. It really doesn't if their bot is calling that they're all in here, which it's completely fine all in, and then Nidalee isn't straight pathing. Like Nidalee, even though she's behind, she really should be able to prevent it. Like, this just seems like a complete like Nidalee's walking to her top side right now while they're all in it.
Yeah.
Like imagine that she's here, like when like if she's here on Hecarim timer, like she's here right now basically.
Yeah.
They're fine. I think that's the actual big problem there.
Yeah, really nice buster shot from Raheen too. And yeah, good turn. I agree with both. Like there's just a lack of communication there on both sides, right? Like either way, it's like A, you shouldn't go for the all in because Heck's there, or like B, you should be there because you're going for the all in, and we know that Heck's there, right?
Do you know who's coaching this TSM Academy roster?
It's Peter Zhang, yeah.
So yeah, this I was talking about pregame, how they're playing super towards Haunter, and like It's past 8 minutes. They're here to respond. Like, yeah, this is Zeus. Like this is what they should know from looking at Zeus gameplay. They should know that this sort of response can happen and will happen, and if they're playing the top here.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they're actually like sending everyone mid, but then they see the setup and on the ward. It's actually a nice toggle from the observer to catch that. Alorum just like
I think it's mid for Rift Hill here.
right, but you would expect like if they are going for Rift, it's better to send your Triss Kragus top to like overload that lane and get top lane priority to open that up, right? Instead of overloading mid. But then like it seems like they're it was like kind of weird, but either way it ends up working out in their favor because their bot lane is mid while Cody Sun's on reset. And they are dropping a lot, like a wave for this, but it ends up being super worth because once again, TSM, they don't communicate this. They still go for it and they get punished really hard.
This is just not a dive timer ever. No matter where bot
Yeah,
goes.
because bot's on reset. Yeah, and Herald's up. Yeah.
This game realistically, like, should be over from this point.
If it's like, you know, high level LCK or LPL teams playing, I'd agree, but
I don't even think high level. Like, I think it's like over in the state that like, it's not high level. Like, it's just a mid level team should be able to. I think any academy team or any academy level team.
I've seen should be like I mean theoretically like you are up with late game comp, right? But and you have a way like to definitively punish the Jinx, but I mean it's still early. TSM's like they're at a gold deficit, but they're still decently strong right now. But that said, they go into the choke where Alorum just cuts them off, and then Rhino's gonna be there first.
I mean, good swipe by Rip.
Yeah, they drop a member. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah, this just allows Hackman to full clear up.
Yep.
And not like any sort of not doing anything here is just gonna be beneficial. It's kind of TSM is at they have to make the play. Like if they don't, it's just so doomed for them.
Yeah.
The more I look at this draft, I'm really surprised that that Zeus was able to get Orion 5 here when he's kind of pretty solid versus solid versus 4 of their champions, and it also had just built-in synergy with their team.
Yeah, I think they took away. They were taking away what?
I think it was Zaya plus Lucian, which the Lucian ban doesn't make much. But
Lucian ban's okay. You can rival the Nidalee early, like or like make it harder to gank it right with like the movement and like get priority to like not make sure like the Nidalee can be like kept down a little bit. But I mean like the issue like isn't even as much like the draft. It's just like they just really poorly executed on like how you're supposed to play this draft out, right? Like you can win with this. Like we've seen teams win with this draft. It is not as easy to execute. Like it's definitely at a high level. Like you got to land your skill shots and hit your timers. But if you do, you can win a game pretty quickly. But like that a lot of that was lacking this game, right? They might have taken away Darkwing's Azir too. I know that he does play that later today, and is like one of the mid laners like still really favoring that. He is a good Azir player.
How did that happen?
Zeus don't have vision over this, and Darkwing's went back to contest because he has RBM, but they don't realize that Sword's here too.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought I saw Sword. I was like, how did that? I couldn't tell they didn't see Sword on the screen.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world though. They're still trading mid and Cody's.
Basically, they don't need to contest that top tower. That's kind of the
absolutely not.
Like the top tier one just doesn't matter at that point.
But they're still killing off an entire wave into a different turret, and they traded up with towers at least because they knocked down mid as well. They get a little bit behind in gold from that play overall, but they do okay with like they still do okay with where they're at. Considering that trade like wasn't favoring them at the start. I gotta keep on zooming with these VoDs, man. I keep on forgetting that this is game 1 of 6. We're already doing okay so far. Alright, so they see Dragon, they know, and then they catch a Jinx ult. So Zeus Gaming, already better than half the teams we have in Amateur and Academy.
If that was Saskia, that hits, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
I
You
don't
know
know how it hits, but it hits somehow.
Well, Answer actually almost takes down Darkwings, but once again, like, they don't have any control.
Happen.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen. They can just seed that wave, right?
Like, they know them. They know they just moved from the bot side. There's no shot hop. Like,
yeah, this is just bad play.
Like, even if Gragas doesn't cut off anyone there, like, it still works 100% of the time. Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
I mean, this game's like, it feels like the loss of terrain and like ability to like make plays is just like, I mean, playing Redactin in Italy from behind is pretty rough, right? If you don't have the brushes or the space to set up a play, they have to go for all in on Darkwings. They're only gonna trade 1-for-1.
I don't know the math behind it anymore, but I don't know. I think Cleaver may be pretty good here on Redactin.
Cleaver? Well, they changed the passive back to the old one.
Yeah, I haven't checked out the math through it now, but I mean, he did go this game. It makes sense if it works pretty functionally to the same before. But if you're picking Renekton to be like a Cleaver stacker on the Hecarim or a Scion, it's not super great.
I mean, like, it helps out Jinx, right? As Zeus,
yeah.
they dodge another Jinx ult. That's pretty. That was communicated as well. As they get away with kind of an illegal Baron. And like, the thing about Zeus, like, I like here is like, yeah, like, they aren't sacking anything for this, right? Because like they do burn an irrelevant TP to just catch mid. And because they have Hecarim, they're able to execute it fast. So like, if I was coaching this game, I'd say like, hey guys, like, Hecarim kind of enables them to do some stupid stuff. Maybe if we can't put it behind, right? I mean, like, the comp doesn't matter as much to me because, like, you know, we picked a comp and like completely just botched like how to play it. But yeah,
I think the biggest point, if you're looking back at this game for TSMA Academy, is that double TP early.
Yeah, the double TPs, they lose a lot of tempo off that for sure. But it also just shows like, theoretically, like the comp they had in mind, like they weren't able, like they don't understand the timers, like, or like how to like play around it, right?
Yeah, I mean, because the big thing, I know Zoo in the chat mentioned their logic between the leaving Ori up versus Set, and while they're, yeah, that's it can be true. I don't necessarily fully disagree with it. Playing the Set early with the medley reacting, and then playing to top side, and then immediately giving away all your advantage is just, yeah, the fundamentally just way you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
They're trying to just react to something, which is fine. It's fine to react sometimes, but they're taking away any sort of. They're just not playing. They don't know what their win condition in this comp is, and I don't know how that's even possible to know it. It's pretty self-explanatory what their win condition should be, especially in early game. And they just completely pay.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a little harsh, I guess. Like, they just like they traded a lot to counter that bot play when like they had things set up to like make a successful play top, right? And because like that snowballed into a few other things that props to Zoo, like they were able to capitalize on. And all of a sudden, like, you get a game state where it's like, oh shit, we're the early game team down 2k gold, and if we don't have like terrain to set up stuff, we can't operate, right? We'll see a better Nidalee game later. Kennedy saves the day as always. Oh my god. I know I'm speeding up, but that was one fast pony.
So far, it seems like from this game, really, TSM's only advantages came off of Zoo's like mechanically misplaying for the most part. Like, it really didn't seem like they did anything.
I mean, it was just like miscommunications, right? Like they lost so much tempo off that, and it really bit them in the ass.
But even like miscommunications, I think there was recently a pretty popular clip by from one of the LCS Go streams of like Double If, Meteos, and Sneaky, talking about communication. In like, I'm not saying that necessarily the case, but it seems like some of these issues shouldn't be like they're not like it's easy to say yes, they're communication issues. Yes, they happen because there was lack of communication, but they really should be able to be things that are self-identified by the player. Um,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
this shouldn't be something. This should be if Haunt is being called for that TP bot, and this has happened before. This is not a scenario that's completely rare. Player direct in Italy and the enemy attacks bot side. This should be a scenario they've dealt with before. He should know that unless his wave is in a really good spot, he really doesn't want a TP. This should be something that's been dealt with if there's ever been a problem, and there's something that's just missing here. It doesn't make too much.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's also one game. Like, we've seen other stuff, but yeah, like, I mean, it could be something like they're like still like working on. Yeah, that's up with to them, but anyway, hopping into game 2. I got the win cons back up. We have a new draft, TSM. A little bit of a different blue side look. They're gonna do a different trade of the first 3. So they're gonna take the Hecarim and give away the Tristana, Rel, Zaya, Alistar, and Lilia. Same Scion. We're gonna have a different counter because they took away the Renekton Aatrox, so now it is Nocturne top into the Scion. And then Galio mid, so TSM continuing the theme of playing fast on blue side. Obviously, we know the results of this. TSM ends up winning. I still don't mind the draft from Zeus. The one thing that's a little bit tricky is that in the last game, like when you have a combo like Hecarim Rel, it's so easy to engage. It's a little bit tougher for them to find an engage here. And it's against a comp where if TSM is engaging first when they get ahead, it's hard. Really hard.
Yeah, this is something we kind of saw last game. There's 2 things from the same from draft that kind of carried over. One being adjustment, one being just kind of a reinforcement point. First, that like when they're picking Tristana here, they're like, and they're picking Tristana, and they're kind of committing to dive. They're not fully committed to dive. You don't have to fully dive Tristana, but it's most likely they're going to be committing to any sort of dive, which they don't. They do respawn with Desire very quickly, and I like that a lot better. Even if the Tristana goes mid, it's still completely fine to have Blind Desire bot lane.
Yeah, and the nice part about Zaya too is that like she doesn't really need any resources in a team comp, and we see that here because it is full dive plus Zaya, and it's like, all right, just stall as long as you can, Cody. Like, we'll catch you on the flip.
Yeah, and this is also the full dive on blue side part of when you're picking Hecarim, you are diving. Like there's no sense. Like red team should really just be picking a lot of anti-dive champions, which they pick. Yeah, they do. Like good job on them. They pick a lot of pretty good anti-dive champions. But they probably could have even opted into a bit higher with anti-dive. He's like, you playing Hecarim without a dive comp is the worst thing in the world. Like, it's actually just so unplayable, terrible.
Yep.
And it seems like a lot of people don't realize this fact, especially in Amateur Academy, where they'll see a Hecarim and then think they can still play front to back here. They can still play whatever it is, and then the Hecarim plays in front to back, and the game's over.
Yeah, he's meta defining champion at the moment. His ult's really strong, and he clears pretty fast.
Yeah, I don't think Hecarim's actually as good as like these teams are piling him, but people do. I don't think if people are going straight to Hecarim, I'm not a huge fan of it this patch. I think it was a lot better last patch. Last patch, I was full for it. I thought it was super good.
Oh, I think it's still best jungler on this patch.
I don't necessarily agree with that. A lot of times where you'll see a full tank Hecarim, 3 items, 1 item above 80k, you'll see them try to dive. This patch before it's just like insta kill, and now it's just kind of unplayable.
TSM in this matchup, it's really powerful if you get a ward down on one of these brushes pre-level 1. They don't do that, and your son just gets blasted in the trade. That hurts.
Yeah, the classic level 1 melee ward.
Yeah, it's good because Rel punishes it really hard, so props to Rhino on that.
I mean, yeah, both full clan, pretty understandable. I'm hoping she ends up looking for Raptors on reset.
Not gonna cycle Krugs, they don't have bot prio. So it's just full clear with Babip up. And Lorm's getting beat up a little bit more in this matchup. I remember I tuned into this game briefly, and Raheen makes a pretty big lane mistake that ends up costing him. Yeah, it was right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so nice play by Yurson. Both Raheen and Rhino were a little bit off, and like canceling that combo, and that gets blown up. So TSM find a pretty big lead because like that's the one lane where it's like we power pick Tristana Rel, and that's like where we're gonna, you know, like do a lot of our damage. Yep,
I think the bigger concern with red side, even if that all-in doesn't happen, Tress was down 15 CS at this point. This should not be a match, especially with what happened level 1, where she's down. I don't really know how that happened, but it's either Cody Sun just playing the lane 1,000 times better, but that should not happen for Tress.
Really good angle taken here by Sword and Yurson. Yurson uses the fog to get that initial one off, and then Sword counters, but the TP is late from Haunter.
That was really well played by Dark Wings.
Yep.
Wow, they're actually letting him get that grab.
Yeah, I mean, like
I don't think they should have got that.
I think it's fine that Triss goes bot and fixes that wave, but I think Rel wants to get reset timer. Yeah. You can get back out on the map. They didn't have any cooldowns. I'm kind of okay with them giving up that crab. It's fine.
Hey, it's 8 minutes again, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, there's no help there. He just goes in and loses. And also, like, I think that he thought that RBM's bot camps are up and then a reset for it, so that's why he gets caught.
Yeah, but this is what I was talking about, how RBM does that a lot of like non-efficient path into beat somewhere earlier, and then like the 8-minute time is thrown out of nowhere. Where I talked about earlier, like they consistently do this of like somewhere around 8 minutes, RBM or someone will be top. And I mean it's happened twice this series now. I don't know if there just wasn't any scouting, if they just thought they would win for free. I know there's some clip of Hunters like, I have no idea who's even on Zeus, so I'm not sure they're just egoing, but if they are egoing, then they clearly do not care as players. It shouldn't have to be the players that recognize that. It should be whoever's staff is, if they have any scouts or whatever.
So, yeah, this is a little bit of a rough trade coming out, actually, from TSM, just given the fact that there's a bunch of free stuff that Cody Sun gets down here for that Herald.
Can you go back a bit? 15 seconds. So, on this TP here, I know they see Ellie's low, but like, this does never need to be forced. Even if Galio isn't here. This is like, they're currently hitting top tower. They currently did everything top. They're currently just trading. They're trying to get like more. They know that they don't have any help. They know that even if this play like works, it probably shouldn't work.
Yeah.
These are the type of things that just really shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
It's like super surface level. Like
that was greedy from Zeus. Yeah, it's like they can see that dragon and take all the gold in the top side. I just don't like the fact that like now, like your goal when running Tristana is like you want to get Trist in solo lane, so like she gets like solo gold XP and then gets more doubles. And now we have Cody Sun up pretty big because of that Rift Herald rotation they made. They lost a lot of like tempo and a lot of stuff in the bot lane because it was just punished by TSM because they didn't rotate. A lot of solo stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. This game is still, it feels like it's mostly TSM's advantage. It's based off of being better laners and on Zeus messing up. That really seems like what the case is this series so far.
Okay. Because now you have Cody Sound up a level, and that's tough because, like, it's pretty much at this point, it's like, can we peel for this Tristana Azir and survive Cody? And that's actually a pretty tall task because Cody's got pretty accelerated.
I do like that IBM went for Zonius first and didn't go any sort of greedy build.
Hmm.
A lot of Lilias. I feel like it's pretty obvious that you should go Zonius here, but I've seen so many Lilias do not go Zonius like first item.
Yeah,
Like,
he's man engaged, so I like it a lot too. Because I like they have really good follow up though on a big sleep, right?
They shouldn't ever really be engaging. They never need to pull the trigger unless it's super free.
I mean, I think it's pretty tough if they don't pull the trigger here, just because of how efficient it is for TSM to initiate fights. Like, that's the dream scenario for TSM.
They just play. I mean, it should just be playing for TSM. They should be, obviously TSM's engage is good, but they should be playing to play counter engage and play anti dive. They draft enough things like the Azir, Scion, Lily. They can play counter engage. And they can play anti dive. It's not impossible by any means.
Right.
If they're ever going in, they're basically saying, "Yeah, we now have no anti dive tools. Just come engage in us." Trist doesn't get to play a game. Azir doesn't get to play a game.
I mean, Trist Azir can like peel for themselves pretty hard. I obviously like the idea is like the
this
fight.
Team versus Hecarim, Galio, Knock, Ali. I don't think they shouldn't really ever be able to.
Right, but that's why I'm saying that, like, if they're able to find fights first, that it helps them because it prevents what we're about to see here. And like why it's good for like RBM to like go for the Zanya is like the theory behind it's right? Because this fight is pretty sure that TSM is gonna wipe this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dark Wings doesn't get flash or ult off. Yeah, it's big time from TSM. It's good find, right? They just overextended, getting the dragon, getting out.
I even think Red Team did a pretty decent job of like. It is really important against heavy dive that you clear vision behind and you clear vision on way out, and they did a decent job at that. They were almost in the window to be out of vision.
It just yeah. I mean, it just really doesn't matter that much against Nocturne Hecarim, right? When you can find an angle like this, I mean, it's just a doomer angle. Even if like Dark Wings flashes over that wall, like it's still like such a tough fight.
And this goes back to draft where it's like, when you're seeing the Hecarim, you should opt in for more anti-dive. And they have some, but probably not enough.
I mean, they got like Azir Tristana have a pretty damn good amount of anti-dive built in their kits, but
yeah, but it's not like it's not a Morgana, it's not a Swain, it's not that type of stuff. It's like playing a dive comp in the Swain is true pain. Like, you do not get to play the game as a dive comp.
Right.
They shouldn't necessarily pick Swain here, but like picks along the line of, if you know they have a Hecarim team and they put higher power on Hecarim, you should be looking at, in the weaker scrims, you should be looking at, okay, what anti-dive champions can we prep for when we see how? That should really be the mindset.
Obviously, it's a high pro champ, right? They first picked it on blue, and then they let it go through this time. So
yeah, the game pace is just being slowed down.
Rosethorn and Zoo are both in here saying Hecarim's weak. Dude, I still think Hecarim's busted, man.
I think Rose Thorn is sarcastic. Hecarim was weak. I think Zoo was honest.
Yeah,
Hecarim
I
weak.
had Zoo was being honest. Hecarim weak. I think Hecarim's just so broken.
I don't think he is.
I think he's so broken.
He's so overrated.
I agree that like people aren't playing the counters to it, but also like we saw the attempted counter come out today. Like we've seen a lot of Nidalees fall flats into it.
I don't. I don't think Nidalee's the answer into it.
Can be poison wins.
Well, I mean, yeah, I still think it's the answer into it.
It's not bad. Like you can really bully it out with like early lane prio. As we see another engaged sword found the angle this time. Yeah. Like this is why I think it's like RBM like could be like try like if they want to fight, like the angle would be like to Q flash and like start something off, so like you prevent this combo, right? I know it's like pretty tough, but
can you go back?
Yeah, I know this wasn't caught.
Where is the like? How does this fight even really start?
So they don't. So what happens is, all right, we're gonna go way back here. So TSM has been patrolling this area for like the entirety of it, right? Whoops.
So I don't think this engage should be able to happen, really.
I mean, so like they're faced with a decision right now. It's like, do we see Dragon or do we contest, right? Dragon spawns, they decide to contest. And Sword had the flank, so he just came out of fog with Predator up. And Shirelia's. So he forces Raheen doesn't have flash until now. Yeah, he just got flash. And he dies. Yeah, he used it and dies.
Yeah, that does more just, yeah, super good flank by Sword. Well played to him.
Yeah, it was really well played. I just think, like, if you're gonna fight or like posture to fight, I just think it's impossible for Zeus to win unless like they're the ones that like land a seed or like pull the trigger or something like that, right? It's so easy, like at this point in the game, like in this game state, for TSM to just be like, all right, press R, and like that's it.
I mean, it's definitely 1,000 times easier to execute.
Yeah. Like the only way to like stop it from like being executed or like try and save your carries, most likely, is for you to actually try and start a fight. And like TSM, they're not letting them do that here, but like I think that like that's like one of the few solutions that Zeus has. Because like, you can't side that into this, right? So
they're trying to still play out like against a heavy engage comp when you know that they also can play sides better than you. It's really important that you're okay giving up wave, get better position, and it doesn't really seem like they're okay doing that.
Yeah, which is something that we usually see Zeus do pretty well, actually. Like they're pretty good at understanding that. Rhino goes for a big play here, but ends up a little bit too deep. He found an angle on Cody's son. And once again, really good execute on Darkwings, who in that fight, like every fight that we've seen TSM take, they are not letting Raheen or Darkwings do anything. They've been one shot in every fight we've seen. One or the other. So they traded Lauren to get him off Baron, and they're still like they're down 5k gold. It's like it's pretty cooked at this point. I didn't see that any blue trinkets up on the scoreboard or anything like that. I guess they don't like need to take that path. Like they like could have like taken a less greedy path, but
yeah, I mean they just have to bleed out here for a bit. They're way too far behind to justify ever doing anything.
To be fair, this isn't the worst. It looks terrible. It's not the worst idea.
I think this is a completely fine call.
Yeah, it's actually not the worst idea in the world. Because really the soul spawning in a minute, and like the game's like pretty wrapped, so just like might as well hit the F it button and go for something, right?
Can you go back to where Alorum died? Like, it seems like they could have maybe been here a bit earlier.
Like top waves, like they could have gotten mid for it, but that would have probably been an overextension against all the globals they have, right? I really don't hate this play. Like the game's cooked at this point.
I think the play's fine, but it seems like if they're gonna do this, like their window is a lot shorter than they think it is, and they're not playing around that window. Like they need it, like as they're shown on bot, like they need to be hitting the Baron. Like they do not do it. enough.
Right, but they didn't have mid prio, so they got there as fast as they could.
Well, I mean, it
there was
doesn't.
a wait.
Mid prio doesn't matter. Like, it's on so point. The game ends in 1 minute. The plan isn't to get mid prio, shove it out, go Baron. Sure, if you're ahead or even, or if it's a playable game state, which just really shouldn't be playable game state, then yeah, I agree.
So they're coming off reset from that fight still and out of the death chamber, and then the Lorm gets caught. So even if they like ignore mid wave, they still don't get there in time. From the moment they show. Right, because they show now they just caught the wave, and then it's like, all right, we're just gonna rip for Baron. Which, to be fair, they make that call like pretty fast, but like given like where the map is, like they can't, they couldn't get to this any faster, right? It's just they went for the Hail Mary and they were just late, right?
Yeah, no, it's more. This is obviously a reaction to the scene in multiple bots. I understand that, but there should be, Lorne shouldn't be showing quite. Like, there's no reason that he is showing there.
Yeah.
That's like the bigger problem. And like, if Alone doesn't show that, they are able to get a bit close to the Baron. They're able to actually not be set up for it, but be close enough to maybe be able to move for it and maybe make a Hail Mary. When you're trying to make these Hail Mary plays, tell yourself, even if the odds increase by 1%, that 1% matters so much. And so when they're not doing that, it just really shouldn't be happening.
Let's see that Haunter's on the mirror mana tech. I'm actually pretty sold that it's a good Silas build.
It is. Very
yeah.
Silas build.
That looks really fun to play against. Yeah, it definitely came down to like that first big fight engage that TSM executed like pretty cleanly. Like Zoo's like Darkwing's going down like immediately, and like from that just felt like they never were able to get footing back in the game. Like they just get engaged upon any single time. Like they definitely like made some like other mistakes outside that, but yeah.
I do think a lot had to do with gameplay here, but I think there is still a lot.
I think the gameplay from the first game from TSM was more rough to watch than it was like Zeus that game still. Like if I'm Zeus, like I still feel okay going into like the game 3, right? Like you walk out of that loss, like we can still win the series, right?
Okay. And as much as I wasn't a huge fan of Red Side draft, I think Blue Side draft this game is really bad, like really bad. I think it's terrible actually. Like the Rumble pick makes 0 sense. It loses into Ori. It's very terrible in Udyr. They have everyone on the team has some sort of mobility with their ult. They have Ori speeds. Like this is such a terrible pick from Blue Side, and it's also like top kind of pick is gonna happen, and you know that Wukong is one of his few champs. And you give him a really good Wukong game. I mean, this looks like that Zero Scouting is just eco picks. It's like Sword or whoever coach says, I want to play Robo here, and they didn't think of it past. This is just a terrible draft and really shouldn't be happening.
Okay. So TSM, they get the Udyr.
Or Zeus gets Udyr.
Or Zeus gets the Udyr because they trade away the Hecarim once again. But they actually... The swap in pick ban is that the Silas is taken away this time instead of Thresh. So that gives Thresh over to Rhino.
Yeah. I think Rhino has blind... At least back when... We played... My team played Zeus a while back. And I forgot which tournament it was.
Rhino's very good Thresh, right?
Yeah.
And it opens up more picks, yeah.
He would just pick it blind no matter what.
Yeah.
So this isn't surprising. But this should be something that TSM know is coming. But there shouldn't be a surprise to them that they're doing this at least.
Yeah. I like the Ori blind. I'm actually surprised this wasn't denied. Instead, they banned the Malphite.
I mean, Malphite's pretty good here.
It's an alarm special.
Yeah, so it's pretty good here, to be honest. It wouldn't blind it, obviously, but given 5th pick Malphite is like one of the scariest things in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like the Rumble, like once again, like they like want to play fast, and there's definitely like the ability to like do work with Nautilus Rumble. Like that's a combo we've seen used to a lot of success with Aatrox and Tristana, like get resets. I can like kind of see the theory behind it. And you get mid priority for the Hecarim, but also like if you want a draft like that, like I know it didn't work the first time, but like why not run back like a set in Italy? Like you like at least like find plays. I know, but like obviously they first pick Hecarim, but yeah.
I just think
they could have victored here and been fine, no? Like you outranged Sivir pretty good.
On blue side, I mean, the thing about Victor here is you're playing Hecarim with a non-dive then. Not really suck.
Yeah, I don't want to use Damwon-Ki as the example for everything, but I've seen Canyon make Hecarim actually look really broken in a lot of those. It is paired up with Kai'Sa, and they could have went Kai'Sa. So like this is the issue with like the giving away the Hecarim and the Trist, right? Is because it makes it really tough to put Trist mid.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
yeah, you have double AD, and it's like, where do you put the AP?
I mean, Cody's not gonna play any AP bot lane. Not like that shouldn't limit you.
Yeah, but no one's playing AP bot lanes.
Doesn't mean they're bad though.
No, I mean it doesn't mean they're bad, but like it means that like it gives you a huge advantage in draft. If you don't think your opponent's gonna play it, then it's like giving away a Hecarim plus Trist combined. Like, yeah, theoretically the champions like should synergize well together, but you just know the Tristana is most likely to be bot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think Cody played any AP bots.
No.
But when you're playing this Trist, like picking it at all, and you're locking like double AD mid jungle.
Dude, they could have Seraphined here.
Yeah, I mean,
instead of Rumble.
I mean, they could have even like Seraphine, put the Seraphine bot.
Yeah, they could have done that too. Make it a wave clear fest. I don't know. I can see like some of like the qualms with drafts. I mean, but like also they're trying to be proactive and like give themselves ways to win. We'll see how they end up executing upon it, because they have ways to make proactive plays, right? Like there are things they can try. It's not the easiest, but it's not like completely losable.
This matchup mid is going to get really rough really fast for Sword. After Ori gets like level 4, that's already when
really nice play from Rhino. He stops the auto from coming in. Now Sivir gets to do Sivir things.
I'm glad this is not a lethality Sivir.
I've seen more Udyrs doing this more, by the way, where they just take a pit stop mid and just like say, hey. I know RBM doesn't get anything from that, but I do like that jungle opener, an adaptation from Udyr. Like if you full clear, you clear at 306, 307 with a leash anyway, so like why not use some of that time to just like go mid. If you caught LCK playoffs, like Hanwha found 2 kills on Bay in one of the games from Udyr just walking mid. It's actually really tough to watch. I think it was game 2. I think it was game 3. Yeah, and the RBM doing Kruggy's last. Okay, Rasan flashes. It's not even Church of Chovy, man. That's just like bad play from Bay. It was tough to watch.
This is really good for Zeus so far.
Yeah, something that Darkwings does really well, and some like one of the reasons that I like Darkwings a lot is like wave management, like having good wave states. That wave state for him is perfect there. As Raheen has to burn Sums and Lane. little bit of an oops. Yes, Frank in the chat. I could not believe Bade TP'd back to mid right after dying. Bro, I couldn't either. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, this is just TSM's bot lane just better. There's not much to say about it, actually.
Yeah, Rhino gets caught a little bit. Mistimed the flight just a hair. There's bot miscommunication. Oh, I think the slow from Cody's son actually means that the auto lands. He hit the flay. I don't think he means better by... I think he means champ stronger in con at this point in the game. Which he'd be right about. But yeah, just it was a small miscommunication.
Yeah, I mean, so... Yeah, I do think it's a bit with the matchup, but I do think TSM... I think that is the one strength in this... In, like, this matchup.
Dude, I really have not... I think that Irsan's a little bit better than what we saw from Fizzy. Fizzy is still really young. But I am not... I don't think TSM's bot lane's good.
I don't think they're very good, but I think the laning of Raheem and Rhinos is worse than Curse on your son.
Their laning phase is not their strong suit, but I don't think their laning phase is worse than significantly worse than like what we've seen from Cody and your son. I think Raheem's made a few oopsies, but it is what it is. As oh my god, Darkwings gets out with nothing, and then Alorum just gets the dream fight. Alorum does so much damage in that fight. My god.
So now the problem for TSM here, they now have like 2 hard losing lanes. Like, should already destroy Rumble, and Wukong is at the point where he should start destroying.
I actually think one of your points about Zeus there actually kind of comes pretty true in the fact that like, you can see like Rhino sticking around just to make sure like Alorum gets that double triple wave, which I don't think is the wrong call at all.
But yeah, the game is really rough for TSM now. Like, obviously the score isn't that bad.
I mean, I think like right now, like if you're Yurson, like you should just set up the camp mid, no? Because like you're not gonna be able to make a play on Thresh Sivir, and you don't have there's no flash on Darkwing, so like he should be just setting up the camp mid.
I mean, the thing about that,
you can bring Hackram. He's got no vision control right now.
Setting up camp mid versus Sivir means that they're gonna bleed bot play. Like.
Yeah, but like they're gonna just like gracefully lose the game anyway. I Darkwings doesn't have flash. You are Nautilus. I think that's like an easy tent mid.
I think there's enough that Zeus can do that if they put in tent mid, that any sort of advantage they're getting, they're losing more than they're actually getting.
I would trade support XP to set up tent mid and try and get Ori with no flash. Especially like if you bring Babip, like there was a time where like he was on Raptors. I think that's like the play I'd be looking for if I'm them, but Yurson isn't leaving lane. And this should mean they just like seed over this dragon unless we get fight. Okay. Nice stopwatch from Rhino.
How sad is it playing Rumble into Ori speed and Sivir ult? So sad.
Feels bad. Not to mention phase rush. Real balanced.
This is such a terrible Rumble game. Also, when tank Hackram, I know he's not like tank Hackram at this point, he's just Hackram behind. But Hackram behind is also utterly terrible.
Yeah, if you can't get the first kill in the fight, and like, well, I mean, that's like also TSM's team comp, right? Like, Aatrox Tristana need to get the first kill in the fight in order to do something. Like, that's why I can see the theory behind TSM's team comp. So if you have like Nautilus, Rumble, Hecarim, you should be able to get resets for Tristana Aatrox. Like, they just do the rest for you. That was a good rotation from TSM to get some points.
I mean, yeah, the comp makes sense in the head, and like in theory, yeah. But it's like they're not even thinking that the other team has picked champions. It's like they're drafting it blind. It's like
yeah. I mean, I don't think that the Rumble pick was the best here, but like, I can see the idea behind it, right? So like if they want to opt for like that smaller window, like they think they can win the game, like that's on them. That's fine.
That seems just pretty big ego.
Yeah, I mean, like we don't know like how this team's been practicing though. Like they could be winning scrims like this, right? Like this could be like how like we've seen them opt for early game and take blue side all 3 of these games. Like it's obvious that like mid prio and jungle prio is like what they prioritize a lot.
The more this game gets slowed down for Zeus, the better it is. I would ideally not like them see, like unless the play is really free. Like I really don't have to be making like any play for a while.
I think at this point in the game they should have Trist mid. I know that like Herald's up, but Ori can side lane perfectly fine with Flash and TP.
Trist mid, or do you mean Sivir mid?
Oh shit, my bad. Sivir, you're right. Yeah, I think that Zeus should just have their Sivir mid, give her access to 2 camps. And, like, you can side just A-OK with the Ori at this point. That's a really nice rumble ult from Sword. Oh my god. Wait, what?
I mean...
Oh my god.
What a tragedy. I did not see this before.
Holy smokes. This is a good fight for TSM, right? Like, look at this rumble ult. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's there with the depth charge. But Cody-san just gets ran down by a... It just ran out of the fight by RBM and Alorum. There's actually no help for him. It was actually really sad. And the Lantern's pretty epic.
Like, this is like kind of the dream fight. Like, numbers advantage, perfect rumble ult, perfect Nautilus ult. Like,
dude, that fight? That fight was won by an RBM bear slap on Cody-san. Like, no joke. Like, watch, he's feared here, and then he phase rush bear slaps Cody. Imagine if Cody jumps into Raheen, like, right now. I don't know if he has, like, Blue Trinket or not, but, like, he's 1 auto away from, like, being polished off, and they can reposition on the top side of the fight, and then this fight's, like, over. I also didn't see... He also doesn't have Buster Shot. I actually don't know how he doesn't have Buster Shot for this. That's kind of a big deal.
Now, if you're TSM, if that fight happened and you lose that as TSM, your mental is out the drain. Like, that should not be a fight like you're losing with this guy.
Yeah, no, that sucks. That was a beautiful rumble ult from Sword, and RBM just... Alorum just chased down Cody's son. Holy smokes, that feels bad. Like this from Zeus a lot, too. Oh, okay, we're good. It's good punish from Zeus. There wasn't much else to do on the map. Oh my god, it's just Monkey King.
I mean, this matchup was terrible for Aatrox at this point.
Yeah, it's really bad. Once you get past level 9 on Wukong, you just get to... And even, like, it's easy to get to that point, but, like, his passive is actually... Dude, Wukong's passive is actually so underrated. It's so strong.
Do people underrate that? I
yeah.
don't think they do.
Yeah, I've seen it and heard it underrated so many times. I think it's so absurdly strong.
Yeah, I mean, it just says if you're an AD champion, good luck. I mean, I've heard only people talk about good things, so personally I haven't been underrated, but if people are saying it's bad, then, I mean, yes, yeah.
I know it's saying it's bad, it's just like people forget how strong it is. Like, it's just like so much hidden power. As playing Rumble, if it wasn't bad enough in the Sivir, Ori, and the Thresh too. It's another really good Lantern, but this is a good engage from TSM. I like this from Babip. He just goes in the split off, you know, make sure that RBM gets split off and it's on top of the other ults. Cody actually could have jumped aggressively there and they might have been able to pick up more.
I don't think they saw what Dark Wings was. That's the problem.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I know I'm also dropping some frames, but the interwebs here are... we try our best. I've actually been happy that so far it doesn't seem like it's going to be the longest night of all time for me and Bader. I was like 6 games starting this late. Like, it's just fucking doomed. But so far, so good. As everything gets burned out here from Zeus, and they don't need to go on that choke, right? They can just, like, go up where Dark Wings can join them. So they find the fight before Dark Wings gets there. That's good from TSM.
So this is what I was talking about before, of how I'd really not like to see anything done from Zeus' side. And these kind of just the unnecessary plays that, like, they don't realize that when they hit 2 items, and these plays from Wukong's side, like, they cannot lose. They're giving TSM like ways back into the game. Like, yeah, this is another thing. Like, they're not 2 items yet. Wait till 2 items. I promise you, they get so strong at 2 items, and they just insta win the game.
Yeah, so TSM. This is actually the scary part for Zeus, because TSM kind of death ball here, and they get a lot. At this point, I was tuning in.
I did not see the end of this game, so I have no idea what happens. I think that I'm assuming that it's just gonna be Zeus hit 2 items and then becomes really unplayable.
Dude, this game kind of banged. Actually got pretty crazy. So we have full reset from TSM. Cody still has a lot of gold.
Okay, now they're at 2 items, but now that they won't actually be outpacing significantly.
Wait, what? Wait, that lantern from Rhino was Smurf.
How sad it is.
Wait, I actually really liked how Zeus played this fight.
I mean, it's pretty.
Zeus played this fight really well. Okay, 1 oops. Ha, the delayed word. Watch the this is why I think Zeus, like, I hold them in pretty decent regard in this tournament. Like, I think they're a middle of the pack team that can surprise some academy teams. Watch how they use terrain during, like, in this fight. This is really good. So they get, first off, that lantern, like, saves the fight. But then watch how they just walk into this terrain choke and just, like, use the fact that TSM can't walk through here to just take down Sword. It's actually a really good play.
Yeah, they're moving pretty effectively.
Yeah, and then they, once again, Haunster's isolated. Darkwings is safe here. And then RBM gets, he gets a little frisky. So, and flashes the wrong spot. This is really good play coming out from Zeus.
This is one of the games where, as Hakrim, you are so useless. Like, incredibly useless.
Yeah, it feels bad when Alorum's in your backline on this Fed Wukong doing that kind of work.
I don't fully agree with. It's kind of weird that Worm is walking mid here, out of base. I understand why, and they think they want to, like, just. TSM has been a hard force in mid. They can easily hard force if Worm is there, but, like, he doesn't have to do that.
Okay, hold on. So RBM gets picked.
The classic.
They funnel into the... oh my god, the shockwave from Darkwings is huge. Wait, Cody jumped? Can they find him? Nice Ori speed up. Darkwings played that fight superbly well.
Worm also did a pretty good job.
Yeah. It's a decent move from TSM, right? Like, they're committing the peel off early, but good trade. And actually, that's pretty big too, because of that, they lose tempo on the dragon. So this is really big from Darkwings and Alorum.
I mean, yeah, this
oh my god, Raheen found it. I actually missed that in the first time. So I don't need the Thality Sivir right there, Pater. Just Q does it anyway. No Lethality Sivir needed.
I love when people. I've seen so many games recently where people like go Lethality Sivir when like Sivir's like their main DPS and just have no damage later. I don't. They just see one person go Lethality Sivir and have no idea why it's good. I don't understand how people can do that. Wukong with Cloud Soul is like one of the scariest Cloud Soul users in the game.
Yeah. It's actually a good point. Is RBM... Wait. Hold on. This fight gets nuts.
I'm bounced. Went a bit too fast for me to catch.
Yeah. It's pretty good from Babip, because they knock Raheen into the team. But the Shockwave's big. So they find the Hecarim, they get the Rumble, but that doesn't matter. Cody's still dancing. RBM goes down. Oh, if that depth charge would have landed. Or, Dredge line. Oh my god.
I don't really get it right now. Williams like so like doesn't want to play side. I don't understand that.
I mean, they're winning the majority of the fights. Like, even, like, the fights where TSM's finding, like, these monster engages, they're still going even.
Like, Wukong runs both Aatrox and Rumble inside lane.
Yep.
And if they don't have Aatrox or Rumble, like...
There is a lack of side lane, but it is NA. I think they also realize, though, like, with the Hecarim Rumble, like, they can just get caught out at any time. And, like, they don't want to take a fight where they're down in numbers. That's probably the only way they lose, right?
Yeah, it seems way too scared.
Somewhat agree, but TSM is agreeing to set up his 5-2. So I don't think it's the worst move from Zeus. I know, like, they're seeding a lot of the map for this, but, like, that's the only way they lose at this point. Theoretically, right? Oh, we're zooming. Alright, well, they just literally ran Haunter down the streets. Holy smokes. In the jungle, Haunter just gets hunted. Yeah, no, Count's bringing that up in chat, too, about just grouping. I don't think it's the worst. I can see the logic behind it. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, it just seems like a bit too scared for.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good point to bring up because they are ignoring the sides, right? But they're trading Baron for Dragon now. That's fine. Trading up. Not able to find it, so they get reset with tempo.
So the only thing I don't like there when they're trading the Baron for Dragon, like commit to the trade.
Yeah.
Go top side. Take the top camps. Go hit top tier 2. Like.
Yep. That's an out they could have done instead of, like, if they obviously, like, if they secure that Cloud Soul, like, it's probably the game, but they weren't going to be in time for that. So yeah, they could have gotten a little bit more off that play. They agreed to trade. Okay. Okay.
And I know this is literally just what I talked about, but now it's a bit more like amplified. Like especially when you have Baron, if you're not playing side, they are like they're now Wukong's going to side now.
Yeah.
If they didn't do this, that would be concerning for me.
Nice flash from Rhino, actually. And then they get the Rumble ult for free. They get Aatrox ult as well, but...
I don't know if they kept this in mind when doing this, but I like that they made the play at that timer. It's really important that I mean, this is very basic stuff, but that they're not using cooldowns and stuff before, like, this is the one window where they can make a play and still have their stuff for Dragon.
For Dragon, yeah.
Yeah. So they're actually using that window, which is nice.
Oh, TSM don't reset. It's not worth any items. Oh, GA on Triss to lose Dragon control. Okay. God, these vision toggles make it. Okay, so they sniff out the flank. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. This is disaster. It's actually so important that Awarum has GA there, because instead of Tristana getting a reset, she gets hunted. They just win.
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly just at the point, like, Zeus had better setup, yes. But this is really at the point where if Zeus is playing fights somewhat properly, it's pretty hard for him to lose.
Yeah, it's not the dream setup from TSM, and the fact that, like, Zoos are taking the initiative on this, once again, to not allow TSM to get the dream setup, I think real good.
Wait, did Oi actually get a sombrero this fight? Wait.
No, Cody flashed it.
Okay, yeah, still being shocked. We've kind of been winning with that. Yeah, no, it's so doomed.
Yeah, Flay from Rhino was really good too, and that they just wiped, so they went off this. Okay.
Yeah, I really just think I don't think TSM played it well, but I really don't think they were put in a good spot off draft.
Rhino MVP for the
pickers. Someone wants to win.
All right, we gotta get some new win cons in here.
These are teams I'm not very familiar with.
Okay, that's fine. So we've got. I can help you with these. 100-day win cons. So their win con, it sounds weird. It's honestly like hand stiff a lot for them. A lot of their wins they get off of like finding individual leads. Make sure that Luger is on Kaiser or something like where they just kind of hands gap them. They don't have the best macro, but they consistently actually make the best micro plays in Academy, which sounds kind of weird, but it is that's how they win. They really rely on tempo for Kenvi. And usually tenacity is island mode. So if they can help him in the island, so it's okay for them. For CLGA, one of the things that I've seen them do better in their list or like their winning games is if they are able to play really fast and like get a really heavy skirmishing game, they're actually decent at punishing windows where summoners are down. They aren't going to beat you with their overall like macro play if it's a slower game. Usually. Just because like their lanes like aren't the strongest. Besides, Tian's been showing up a little bit. We've seen some nice things from Tian. They like everyone's kind of been stepping up on this squad just a hair. So yeah. Oh wait, Luger came from TCL. Yeah, man, the MVP's here. What's up? These are usually my win cons for CLG. Usually it's like more. I like to go with like kind of styles like more specific champions. But this patch changed, so I'm not 100% sure. And we already have this coming out from 100 Thieves Academy. So diving in the draft. All right, Peter, what do you think so far?
I really like the comp. Like, I'm huge. I think Seraphine's very good. I'm glad that they are picking it. I don't necessarily, unless they know that just 100 doesn't play, I don't necessarily like they're not banning it. But I think they pick pretty nicely. Like, I think Seraphine Volibear is a really dumb combo. It's one of the best, like, starting to fight as Seraphine Volibear is just so impossible to like, play around. There's really nothing you can do besides like flash it. And if that's your only answer, it just really sucks. Um, I don't necessarily like that they. I mean, the MF Seraphine's a pretty dumb combo, so it's fine showing an AD kind of early. But I'm not huge on picking the Nocturne on 2 from blue side. But otherwise, I think red side has a pretty big draft advantage.
You like Red's draft?
Yeah, I like red draft a bit better.
Okay, I actually really like just knowing how 100 Thieves plays. I feel like the comp they drafted feeds really well into like what they want to do, right? Because they have a lot of tools to get Jinx out of bad situations, and Luger should be set up pretty well in this laning phase. I know that MF can somewhat contest Jinx, but Jinx is still going to get her farm, and should be fine in the lane. And then also you're playing Aatrox into 3 melees and in a decent like lane. He does get pressured out early, but I feel like it's an okay game for Aatrox. The big question is just going to be is like, can they find Akali in fights? Because Akali can really, like, a good engage from CLG is going to be really tough for 100 Thieves to deal with. So I'm kind of curious if it's on even footing. Udyr can get ahead, so I want to see if Kenby is able to drive home that win. As we've seen a lot from him in Academy.
Oh, is this Nocturne? Oh, it's Nocturne mid.
Oh, wait, shit. This changes a lot.
I've not seen this game at all, so.
I haven't either. This changes a lot.
I mean, it makes more sense.
I thought I was gonna. I thought it was gonna be Akali mid. Okay. Much better lane matchups for CLG, but Kenby can punish pretty hard.
Not really, honestly.
He can on the Akali. She's flashless. And I know that she has her shroud, but like, you're playing Udyr in the 2 melee lanes. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, the only thing about that is that Volley's like Udyr's gonna outpace him like XP and farming, but Volley really should be able to take control. Because mid should be pushing for Nocturne, like pushing towards Ori. Bot should be a pretty hard win matchup.
Yeah.
And it becomes if Volley just okay, he is passing bot lane, good.
Really, I kind of want Volley to path towards top in this one.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Because that bot lane, the Jinx Thresh should be able to get shove against Seraphine MF.
Against Seraphine, it shouldn't.
Yeah, no. You get Jinx Q, and then you have Guardian on Thresh. You can take early harass.
Past wave 1, like once Seraphine MF level 2, and if they have jungle hover, they can play pretty aggressive.
They can, but I would rather like try and set up and punish the Aatrox. Like you can try and dive them. You can do a level 4 TP with RJS, who can like easily crash those waves and like base TP top with items and go for something like that. I also think that you can guess that Udyr is going to be pathing bot with this setup, and I don't think that you straight up like win that 3v3 if it's played well by this side of 100 Thieves.
I think it's fair to say that red side should, not that it's like one guaranteed, but it should be a win 3v3, especially on Crab. If Volley paths to not full clear, which he may full clear, like he may.
Yeah, I also think that Volley like gets top Crab for free. I think that bot Crab is going to be contested by 100 Thieves potentially. I know that mid prio is like very heavily for CLG, but Thresh and Jinx can go for some shenanigans. Oh, it's tragic.
Yeah, this is the lane. This is the wave where Ori, sorry, not Ori. MF Seraphine should be able to start getting pushed, and I think they're not playing for push.
No, it's actually tough to get pushed in that lane.
I don't think they even, it doesn't look like they're playing for it.
Well, it's so the wave crashed and they could play for it, but like with the Jinx rockets, you get say on that lane. And also, like, if Thresh is autoing the wave, too, it's tough to step up, because especially early, you can get chain CC'd.
Yeah, from what we saw, they're just not playing for it from what we saw.
Yeah, they don't feel like they can, and then Keel gets kind of bullied. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, that's not the start we wanted to see for CLG.
So yeah, if Valley's gonna path bot, I don't think he's full clear.
Well, he didn't full clear. He gave up his Gromp. He's back on it. Yeah.
5 camp is too much. Like,
yeah, okay.
He needs to be that faster. Like, that's the one advantage
yeah.
you have.
I agree with you. I'm still in the camp that overall it would be better if he's pathing bot the top, because I don't think they get bot lane probably. I think he gets that top lane crab if he wants it. Even though Tenacity is slamming that matchup early. I know that Akali does get kill threat as that matchup goes on.
Yeah, it's not good until 6.
No way. Oh my god. This game's a tragedy. Look, okay, this is something that Kenvi does really well. Look at how he's on the Raptor camp already of the bear. And then they have this mid lane set up. He's here to answer.
This now becomes, after what happened early, this becomes really hard to play for Udyr.
It's a Kenvi diff.
For Volley, yeah.
It's a Kenvi diff.
I do think Kenvi is just better than Keel, so I guess that does matter.
Nah, Kenvi's really good, but this he was helped out. I actually think it's the bot lane is CLG. Like I didn't like their first 4 plan, and the bot lane weren't able to contest for the plan that Keel was going for. That's more the bigger oops. But now Kenvi just runs the rift. Alright, they get TP and ult for free.
Oh, that's tragic. I mean, he dies.
Wait, he actually sidestepped the Q. That was pretty sick. Scorch making Demonte take 2 tower shots. So Kenvi, despite the shenanigans and a member going down, is still 4 or 5 camps up on Keel. And 2 levels.
So, I mean,
what's up, Travis? Thanks for the raid, man.
When you play,
Appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream.
Push in mid, and you play it in Volley, and then you full clear. Yeah, I mean, that just sets your early game so behind.
Right, I didn't like the first 3-wave plan, and it hurts now, right? So yeah, and I also like 100 Thieves. Once again, I've talked a lot about like teams overcommitting for Rift Herald. Get that one for free because they crashed in the top wave, right? So good play coming out from Tenacity Kenvi as a squad.
Well, that was an overcommit.
I mean, they're going for the chunk with Dragon up. It's okay. They might be able to open up a Dragon window. I think that CLG is posturing the fight. They did bring TN down.
But no MF fault for Dragon really sucks.
Like,
They just said they're not contesting it anymore. Like, unless they kill, they're not contesting. That's such an overreach spot lane. Like, Jinx also has cleanse. There's no way they ever kill him there.
Yeah. I think they wanted Nocturne to rotate down and then turn that into like a kill, but then when the play was headed off by Kenvi just being in the right spot, it's just over. Now they get 3 more plates. There's no cleanse needed. Hooks burn flash for that too. That's not worth it. And Tenacity's not losing anything on the other side either. What's up, Shadow Visions? We already went over your collegiate brethren, RBM, taking the dub on the LCS stage. But good to see you, man.
This is where it becomes really...
Also, Ari's meta, I thought of you. It's still trash, though. I apologize.
Like, you're at the position where you may be out, like... Yeah, I mean, you know, not like you're outscale guaranteed, but you can play fights later.
Wait, what happened? Oh, CLG's trying to make 2 plays at once here from behind. I don't like this. Like, they're TPing bot when Nocturne ults mid. I feel like it's kind of awkward. So that's a lot of tempo loss. And also, We didn't really talk about like how the comps scale, but I definitely put scaling in the hands of 100 Thieves with Jinx Thresh if they are able to survive early.
It's playable for both sides.
It is playable for both sides, but Jinx into melee, she's gonna go Hurricane this game and feel great. We are just zooming through these games. I gotta say, these games are. I'm gonna be very happy with the time I go to bed. I was getting pretty nervous looking at this go to 6 games total on the day. At least we get some more. We haven't seen these teams for a bit. We saw both 100 Thieves and CLG recently with Giant Slayer Last Chance for CLG and the Northern Arena for 100 Thieves. So I had a decent idea of like how these teams were gonna look. And I'm kind of surprised CLG took a game off them, but I'm interested to see how 100 Thieves threw. Or if CLG made a couple good plays. Oh, this is a big fight.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. How like the volley.
It's it's definitely playable for both, and I like Keel does a good job of finding an angle here on 5, and this is a fat start. Beautiful encore too from Hooks. Yeah, but like, oh god. Wait,
just too far behind.
Milan. Where does Tenacity get in
so
here?
Sad losing
This is so
fight.
sad. This is the dream fight. What does Tenacity do here? Yeah, see, though, the Shockwave land, there's a nice Shockwave from DeMonte, and Tenacity is just like, everyone's funneling in Aatrox still. Gee whiz.
So, like, yeah, that fight is a bit different if they're not down 3k gold and 3 dragons.
All right, Peter, I don't know about you. I think this might be a 4x for the rest of the game. You have any recruiting messages for ISU?
No, I don't think so. Not right now.
not yet. Go get a list of sponsors.
Yeah.
Give a shout outs as like we run ads during this time. I don't know. This is a rough. I don't really say like CLG. They have the team fight to get back, and they're very far behind now. It's good to see the idea though from CLG. Like I know that they're behind, but that's a great setup for them. And now they can punish when sums are down. Can they get this? Nice from Hooks.
They're finding dream fight after dream fight.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
yeah, it's
God.
good finds, good finds. This is something like I know that I kind of joked like how 100 Thieves win with hands, but the one of the things like we've seen that's been a little bit weaker for them is their macro setup, and a part of that does involve the. It's not as much team fight setup; it's more like map setup. I know we've been kind of powering through this game, but it's good to see that punished at least a little bit. Tenacity, all right. So this is what I was talking about with CLG and how they can punish windows being down. It's like one of the biggest strengths that I saw from them in Giant Slayer, and that was a good demonstration of it right there, right? They got all the flashes in that last team fight, and they just go instantly. I like this a lot from Hooks and the rest of CLG. RJS getting the party started. I know that the fight isn't exactly a plan, but I feel like that's the right call for them, right?
Yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, they've gotten 2 fights as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, so you actually don't feel terrible walking out of this game with CLG. I know it's gonna be an L, but oh, okay.
Okay, well maybe
They missed everything there. That didn't feel great. Okay, we have to see Infernal Soul.
Whenever you play a comp that has like a pretty like easy like to recognize like dream fight, and then you get those dream fights, and then like multiple times, and you lose, like your mental is bad after that game. Like you need to have pretty good like mental toughness to be able to still play that game out. I mean it's Soul plus Baron. It's just
I still am of the mindset that it is really tough to play all this dive into Ori Jinx Threshold here.
Oh, I mean,
it's not easy. It's playable. It's playable, but it's like once you get behind, it's kind of doomed. They're down like Infernal Soul Jinx now, who has Hurricane stopwatch. Like Luger's gonna win this game.
Yeah. The one thing nice about Seraphine Volley, it kind of like transcends like any anti-dive. Like you cannot PO versus like Volley Seraphine. You just can't.
Yep. It's all over the top, as I like to say, right? Especially like with the MF, it's just all over the top damage. Interesting build coming out with from Tien. I've the demonic embrace second being behind. I actually think it's not too bad. It's a little bit more efficient because they're ahead, right?
I mean, a lot of the colleges go demonic by second. I think that's the standard.
I haven't been seeing that like as many of like the new Akali builds as much. Most of them I've been seeing are like still going full damage, but I obviously like this is technically full damage, but there's actually like a lot of health and utility built into this kit. I'm still mostly seeing like proto belts. I still seeing some proto belts for Akali.
Yeah, I see Protobelt more, but I still see demonic embrace even Protobelt.
Yeah, I see demonic embrace like eventually, but I kind of like it from behind. And the one bummer here is that they did that elder spawn, but I don't think it's going to matter.
This is another pretty dream fight.
Wait, how much?
Oh, yeah,
They missed Jinx. Yeah, and Jinx like Tien find. Oh wait. Tien? Alright, Tien found one. They're behind. It was a good find from Tien, but the initial engage didn't. I think Tenacity might have healed from the initial engage in the end, so it's probably just game, yeah.
I really hope that like CLG like after this game isn't like, because it's really easy to look towards like mid to late game and like say like, oh, they could have played fights better, fights could have went differently. It's really important that they're able to actually look at it and say like, our early game was terrible, and like the game does not matter past the first 4 or 5 minutes. Like, we should not aim to fix anything past 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe like that's like what you talk about like in the breakdown. Like I said, I think that I hadn't seen that game, and I didn't like the 3-wave plan from Keel. I thought they could have had a better 3-wave plan. I think they should have went bot to top. I think you get that top crab for free. Getting one crab on like against Udyr is so important, and also like I don't think that the MF Seraphine gets prio against Jinx Thresh. Like they just dominate the wave. Even if you don't get in there first, like Jinx still outranges everything, and then you have Guardian from Thresh. It's really tough.
They can play for it with Volley being close. Like, if Volley doesn't do full clear, which I assume.
Right, but like we saw that there, and he ended up getting caught on that crab, right?
Well, no, that's full clear. Or he 5 camp. 5 camp. But 5 camp was still too much.
Yeah. So I would rather 5 camp and then take crab and then just like wrap up the 6 top, and then you just kind of like rinse and repeat from there. And then maybe like you know, like start opening up plays on mid, like second spawn. Because I also think like the fact that like mid's not touched too, like that doesn't free up Nocturne to do anything. If you free up Nocturne, they can do a lot. CLG, like they just didn't make enough plays like get anything out of them early where like they could like punish as the game went on.
Yeah. If you want a 5 camp of full clear and Volley, I think you need a path top. But if you looking like a 3 camp, then 3 or 4 camp, you path bot. And I think both are completely fine. But if he's path, he can't do a mix of both. It never works. Like that's the huge issue. He's trying to be greedy for levels and then also play towards where he needs to be earlier. It's the big problem.
Cool.
So this is the game that CLG wins. I have not seen this game really.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one either, but I like the Ornn from CLG.
I think I would have preferred a Scion myself.
Yeah. I mean, either or, like, there it's like kind of like preference, but it ends up working out pretty well because I just feel like they like going. I don't know if I love the Ornn. The more I think about it,
the only thing that's awkward about the Ornn is like he's not primary engage, he's secondary engage, and that's completely fine. But when you're hard committed to going in with Hecarim.
yeah, like when you're Hecarim, you're gonna be secondary engage, right? I think it's not a bad combo.
Yeah, but even just I think it's a bit harder for the reaction to later play into the Scion. And Scion, I think Scion's just better right now, and so yeah. I think I'd much rather some for multiple. I don't think not necessarily bad by any means.
Yeah, yeah. It's easier to dodge out on the Renekton Italy dives as Ornn. You don't get to pick up the XP afterwards, but it's easier to dodge out on the dives. At least gives you a couple more tools, right? At least if the wave gets there. Sign, you can hold the wave a little bit easier. But they do have... it's set up really nice for... I like the rise into like a low range composition, and it actually sets up pretty nice like for Tristana and them like to focus down members one by one. You have Hecarim Galio over the top once again. And Damonte ends up going for Victor, so a much different look coming out of Damonte. Set was banned. Set would actually be super lit. I know it's bad in the rise, but like with the rest of the team, it actually works out really well for 100 Thieves. Yeah, the only thing is that there is no gank assist mid, so that is a little bit tricky, right?
Gank assist for the Nidalee, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's probably not touching. She doesn't really want to touch Rise lane too much. Oh, sorry, Victor lane too much, anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have to see what ends up happening. It's the game that 100 Thieves dropped, so honestly, probably the one I'm most interested in today. Because I had 100 Thieves ranked as one of the top 2 teams coming into this tournament.
I'm really surprised he's played so aggressive mid.
Damonte? Well, they have Ward now in this camp. They're just assuming the full clear, so I think it's fine.
No, but like it's not like it's fine. Like it's not a threat, but like Rise HP like does not matter if it's Victor early. Like a kill's not happening.
No, it's not. But he's not like super missing a bunch of creeps for it. He missed a couple, but he got the Raptor Ward down. Like, and if it doesn't matter, then like he's okay like doing that to make sure that he gets priority. He might be trying to force Rise's mana out too, because Rise can run into mana issues these first 3 waves.
Rise is just gonna back like this happens all the time. Rise,
yeah. No, it's fine from the base here. So they miss out on timer.
The problem with what Dante said earlier is now that he's super out of mana and is forced to TP back.
Yeah, but I mean, like they're gonna handshake that. It's okay.
Right? Doesn't have to handshake that though.
Rise?
Yeah, he doesn't need to handshake that. He
doesn't.
actually need...
Yeah, it would have been pushing into him. Yeah.
Like he doesn't need a TP there. Like...
Yeah. You're right. But he does get it out of the Victor. Damonte pulls it. That's good.
Yeah, if RJS doesn't handshake that, actually... Damonte's game is really screwed.
Well, I mean, instead RJS does land a big trade. Now his game's looking a little worse. That was a nice trade. Also, he has no magic mantle first, so he can definitely like step up and make sure that he can trade with the Victor. I like that. In the Nidalee, right? Yeah.
I'm assuming he's just gonna go verdant. Good.
Yeah, it's the right move. Using bot prio now to get dragon on spawn, it's good. Yep, and then there's the Rise. So that's like also like why heavy trading can hurt Damonte, because the gank setup is definitely on the side of RJS, right?
Picking Victor into Hecarim is like such a pain. Like it's such a pain actually.
Yeah.
Like you need to have really just hard win jungle matchup to justify ever doing that. It seems a bit like another like, kind of ego picky thing. Like he's like, give me Victor. Like it's not actually very good.
Oh shit. Wait, this is okay. So they have 3 up here. Why do they go for this? They see him on ward. They don't see hooks yet.
Oh, this was really well played by CLG, actually.
Yeah, it's a good turn from CLG. But like, I still don't think the 100 Thieves should be here. It's like the wave's dead. They were going for the camp. They're just overextended.
I don't think it ever works. But
yeah, they need to get back to the wave if they want that to work, and it was sniffed out really well by CLG. That's good stuff from them.
Well, I was actually not convinced first. He's opting for Merc Treads. Don't necessarily know why, but
Banshees doesn't feel the best on Rise.
you don't have to Banshees. Just go for it.
Oh my god, it's actually... Oh my god, it's tragic. Wait, this early game was so tragic for 100 Thieves. So both of Poom's realms have been, like, shut down.
They've been very not good rooms. I mean, the mid
I mean, no, they're good rooms. They've just been answered, and they're going too deep on the play.
I mean,
right?
top room was not fine. That was not a good room. Like, that should not work ever. You're sacrificing so much for to ever like the play to work, and it's just not enough. So the mid room was completely fine, though. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both his rooms were bad, but the mid room was completely fine and good. Once Rise goes in the sideline this game, I'm hoping he does. I don't know how Victor's going to play. Yeah, I can't think of a world where he's actually allowed to play.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Victor definitely can't side. I'm more puzzled about how CLG is setting up for this drag, because it feels like they should be able to get it, but 100 Thieves had the setup over it, and they're gonna seed it for recalls. Oh, okay, Demonte's hugging wrong pocket. Huh. It's actually a bad misplay. I know that he has Kenby here, and he's got double control board on his bot side. Shouldn't he be hugging that pocket instead of this one? No. He should be bot right pocket.
How did I just get into that bush?
Because he shoved out the wave and then just like walked in there.
Oh, okay, I wasn't paying too much attention. If he just walked in the bush. And
no, yeah.
Okay,
he's
definitely
I think he should be like, I know that he has Kenby on his top side, but he should be in bot the bottom lane pocket there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if Rise did some weird shit to get there and stuff like that, but no, if he just pushed and walked it, no, he definitely should not be hugging topside. I think the bigger problem is actually, I mean...
There's the dragon.
It's fine that they haven't taken dragon, but they should have got it earlier. It really feels like they should have got...
Yeah, no, that's why I was looking at the minimap so hard, because I was trying to look for a time where like they could grab it and like keep on trying to accelerate. Not that accelerating is like... That's not what CLG needs to do, but...
I think they really... from how they're playing, they understand their win condition. Like... They understand that if nothing happens, like if literally nothing happens, they win this game.
Yeah, but I want them to break Rise into the side lane, because actually I think they should do it right now. Swap Triss mid. No. Wouldn't you want that at this point? No? I mean, like, I guess Tristana, like, is on weak side, like, getting, like, everything solo, which is, like, the perfect thing, right? Like, you want Triss to get all the solo shit she can. But if you put her mid, she gets access to 2 jungle camps, and you just like have her start wiping those.
I mean, to have a Rise wiped, pretty nice also.
Yeah, but like if you put him inside, then you run into the thing where he beats both Renekton and Victor, right? I feel like that's the map state that CLG wants right now, ideally.
Yeah, the hard beating Victor inside really like it can start happening right now, but
Yeah.
it really becomes easy and like non-risky once Rise has 2 items.
Yeah,
So, so wait for that is
I
completely
think he
fine.
still slams him now, but like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like once Rise gets like 2 items, like if he like gets like 16, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, nice. Too bad hooks didn't turn that into anything, but he is playing a champion with dashes, not hooks. See, these are the fun comments that we have to make on the caster desk, man. Gotta keep those in our back pocket.
I swear you guys just look at players. What pun can I make today?
Yeah,
Tell
pretty
like
much.
before
Actually,
game.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I would like to see.
We don't
Rise's
do any
item.
actual prep
Okay,
about
yeah,
the game.
no, they're in for 2 items. It's now they go Rise that lane.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's completely fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would have liked to see it a little bit earlier, but this is a good setup, right? Because they have TPs before the dragon spawns, so they're gonna kill off a wave side for sure. They know that 100 Thieves don't have any TPs, so they're playing to get this. This is a good play from CLG.
I think they should give just give the.
They should
dragon
seed,
on.
yeah. Why not? You just got more gold in your Rise. Fuck it. I'd like that from CLG actually.
I mean,
Oh wait, 100 Thieves are scared.
If they have Rift Hill, they can actually contest it.
100 Thieves are so no. Screw it. Oh man, they could have gotten so much for free for just like giving this.
I don't think they played it correctly, but if they could either commit hard to mid with Herald or hard to dragon like with Herald. Well, either one's fine.
I mean, they could have kept on going top. And
I mean, they
yeah.
didn't do anything. They made 5 different calls there. Like
yeah.
I
think they're a little bit split. They could have just played for gold. They could have denied like 2 waves of gold and XP, and they gotten 4 towers out of that play.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 3 correct plays, and they try to do 2 of them at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. So just a little bit split. Tenacity put that fight pretty well too. Just marking Keel. I also really like the gore drinker on Tenacity this game when you're into 3+ melees and you are main frontline. Or like second frontliner, right?
Yeah,
I like that.
That's fine.
Uh-oh. Nice cancel from Tien. Whoa. Wait, they just saw Kenby bot and started this? Okay, there was a little bit of tempo off that. I think that they could have seeded that to get RJS on top wave and maybe help him get some more vision up there. Ooh, that's pretty ballsy from RJS, honestly. Okay, no. He's got Keel hovering. All right, they're good.
They're just not paying, like, CLG's not paying attention to the camp spawn timers. Like, Wolves and Krugs have been up way too long.
Nah, man, ignore Krugs. Krugs suck.
Yeah. I hate having XP and gold, also. Just hate it.
But that XP and gold is not as much as the other places that give you XP and gold.
I don't know how true that one is.
Krug's worst camp. Oh, this is a really good Ornn ult. Nice stopwatch, but he's still screwed. Yeah, he's got a flash. I like that. Like I know it's no blood, and they use a lot of ults, but they do put Demonte in a terrible spot for the rest of this fight, right?
Yes, but they really don't want to be using Ornn Hecarim ult.
Yeah,
like,
it was well played from Demonte.
Like the Ornn ult, I talked about this before game. It should not be used to start fights. It should be used for secondary engage, and then they try to use it to start fight. And
oh shit! Poom gets caught, and Kenby doesn't get the assassination off.
Baddest tank Hecarim. Oh my god! I love seeing how Terry Kirkham's go in the fight and just insta die now and just not do anything.
Oh, wait. Demonte gets one shot? Oh, the bouncing blade? Wait, what? What? That got pretty crazy. So RJS TP's in, and they find Demonte who has nothing left. RJS was kind of a raid boss in this fight with TP back in. They didn't have anything else for him.
I think if you're a 100 Thieves this game, you need to realize that a lot of these issues come from, playing a comp that gets pretty heavily outscaled in many fashions, and then you're managing to lose first to dragons. Because this, if that was the game deciding fight, like a fourth dragon there, like, and it could even be sooner, then it's realistic for 100 Thieves to win this game. But once CLG even gets one of the first two drakes, like, the game is really hard. They should never begin.
They just didn't make plays like get gold on people to like bridge the fact that like Ryze can side lane and like they'd be like in trouble later, right? I feel like it's not even like the dragons, like they just need to prioritize like getting like early golds, like they can like actually create a point of power. Like that failure with like the top lane setup, like tenacity never became a point of power for this game, right? If he becomes like a big point of power, like they can at least like stabilize a lot of things like as this game goes on.
Yes, but there shouldn't really be a world where 100 Thieves actually win fight to post like 25 minutes unless they are insanely far ahead in gold.
Right.
Or they have Soul, and Soul's like the only kind of reliable way to do that.
Right. I feel like they had like the right direction in this, but like they just didn't respect like Hooks' responses, and I think Hooks had some really nice responses in this game. Like he shadowed Poom with every play that he made. Old teammates. Demonte no flash, gets punished.
This game is just over.
He can't be up that far. If they get Oceans, it's over, yeah.
Even if they don't get Oceans, it's still over, honestly. Like, Blue Sky is heavily outscaled at this point.
It's the Elder win condition, guys. 6-item Sivir with Elder. I like that Ornalt preemptively, actually, just to make sure no one walks in.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
That's smart, yeah. I don't think every team does that. Amateur teams sure as hell don't.
At least this CLG is like the first team so far that like actually, like today, even counting like Zoos and TSM, they feel like they've actually like played towards their win condition.
This game was better, yeah. Like I think that, but like I still think that like game 1 was poor.
Well, oh no, yeah, I agree. But this game, like, they were like the win condition isn't hard to identify. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They actually played towards doing nothing, and then they did nothing.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job of neutralizing the things that 100 Thieves wanted to do. I'll give them a lot of credit for that. They played that very well. Okay, we got side swapped again. First pick Kaisa, that's the savior. We're back to Nocturne Rel.
Oh, I do not like that. CLG showed Seraph in game 1, and then just not showed it yet. I think if you're playing it and picking it game 1, you can't just look at game 1 and think, yeah, this champion sucks, and they don't want to play it. Especially if they're practice types. They wouldn't first pick it red side unless they're comfortable on it. And so just to stay away from, like, this is even a good game for it.
In the Volibear, it's like, it's not great.
I mean, no, it's very good in the Volibear.
Well, like, you can get attacked by it early. And I think that, like, I think that the Nocturne Rel is, like they could have thrown Seraphine, but, like, the way that they won the last game is, like, they were able to, like, neutralize a lot of things, right? So, like, I like the fact, like, they take the Ryze again. Because I feel like the Ryze is, like... Actually, I kind of hate the Ryze. Ryze in the Alistar Volibear, like, feels pretty tough.
It's not good. No, it's very
it feels pretty tough.
But so, the thing about the Seraphine and the Volibear is committed to dive, like, he has to dive. And Seraphine is like the best anti-dive support in the game.
He is, but like he can also dive you and get on you early, right? Because like you can buffer the Encore or the Root with ult.
Well, yeah, I mean, the problem isn't the Encore or ult, it's just they press W and have a redemption and 2 shields. And
This is true as the game goes on, right? I think that they don't want to get blown out early. The Nocturne Rel early show, though, was very interesting. Like,
yeah, but you can just even put it mid, though. And then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't know. I also, like, I know that this didn't work out last game for 100 Thieves, but now they have 3 lanes with Prio everywhere. And I really think that Kenby's a special player that's up and coming. I have a lot of faith in him. And
I think he's very solid, yeah.
Game 1 was a Kenby gap. We're going to have to see if this is a Kenby gap again. Because once again, like, hitting all their win cons, right? Tenacity, Island Mode, Tempo for Kenby, and then this is set up for Hand Stiff, right? They're trying to, like, beat him early. Playing fast with Keel and Hooks, they don't really, they kind of have this, but, like, not really. And then Tian late game, no. Like, he's going to be in big trouble early.
I think CLG's draft.
It's just an all-you-can-eat buffet with Nidalee. And when you get a Nidalee player like Kenby in here, it's a little bit tough. We'll slow it down a little bit. Let's see if CLG has a better 3-camp plan, or 3-wave plan on this side. Because I didn't like their 3-wave plan the first time around. Pathing bot.
Can't believe Rise actually started tier in this lane.
I can. It's... He's going the only way that he is able to contest crabs is if he bases on wave, like after wave 3.
I mean, he's not contesting crabs though.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like
Nocturne Rise is not contesting crabs versus.
Right. The only way that he gets a crab is if there's like good lane prio somewhere. As Kenby goes for the red, he's doing all the solo camps. He gets a lot of
yeah, he's pathing back.
Yeah, and then he's pathing back. Yeah.
Like, this is just clear. They're playing for bot crab. They should.
So like right now though, it's like not the worst setup in the world for the CLG folks. I know that there's a slow push now, 400 Thieves, but like Kenby's spotted on a ward. They know he's here. Like theoretically, with this setup, Nocturne might be able to go back and get the other crab if he ditches this, but
no way, he never gets crab.
Tiana has that wave shoving out. He has slow push starting.
Well, yeah, but he's volley cheated.
This is true.
Volley's
This is true. Yeah.
Like Erectin has just
yeah. So they're seeding crabs from the start. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like he's pathing to get this crab. He never gets this crab.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have time around it. The interactive Rise lane. Kill, this is a bad window for Kill. Like, he should just be on Raptors here. Like, that wave shoved all the way in. And it's even just as disastrous for Demonte. Demonte needs to flash there if they want to commit.
Wait, can you go back? I did not. I just missed this part. I was walking.
So he burned one dash, and then he burns the next one, and he gets rune prisoned, and then they aren't able to chain it because he didn't have the full W yet. So like he didn't have the buffered one where you're guaranteed to land the spear. So Demonte kind of screwed that one. He needs the auto the creeps to get that, and then he needs to flash on Rise if they want to go for that execute.
I mean, he should just flash on him.
Well, yeah, if he doesn't have the empowered W, then you can't guarantee the chain. So
you can guarantee the chain, but just not max distance. Like this isn't. They try to do max distance when they can't do max.
Yeah. That's also true. But yeah, if he should have flashed on him.
That's just terribly played.
Yeah. And they didn't get RJS's flash for that either. So now they see Dragon, and this is already looking kind of doomered.
The problem is Rise doesn't play the game too much this game, so it's kind of fine.
This is what I'm talking about, like, with the freaking hands diff thing. Canvey secures the Gromp there. And then lives because he's up a level. Like, they're actually just flipping. And then Luger gets there first because, like, they had Crash Wave. But I think Katsuri could have been there earlier. Or RGS, like, might have been able to, like, TP there. Either way, 100 Thieves, like, kind of get away with what looks like murder. Like, Hooks had that snipped out from the start, right?
That's the deal.
Yeah, I think he just wants to reset that wave. But now, like, doesn't have TP. Interesting. Weak side king. No weak side please coming for this bear. Oh wait, he just got stuck on the creeps. Okay, I guess he forced.
Like if he has ult there, he can all in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why he ended up ulting. I think he maybe misclicked. I can't think of an actual reason.
A Milan fat finger.
Maybe.
So I think 100 Thieves, they need to set up for the Herald, and they're going for the full rotate. They already see Katsuri and Rel in the bot side.
Wait, why is Ellie walking bot here? I mean...
So off reset, I feel like CLG can go top here and get Herald. No? Like they have...
No, they do not win.
No. If they do full rotate, if they send their bot lane top, they can at least contest it. Because they have item advantage.
Okay, sure. If there's an all-5 bot and 100 doesn't rotate up, yeah, sure. But if
well, I mean, like they're rotating up, so like even like you don't want to opt in like a 5v5 now, but like they can at least like maybe contest this, right? Like they do have bot lane on item advantage.
They cannot contest.
They have bot lane and item advantage.
You know, it's still Renekton Nidalee Volley versus like Nocturne Rise. It's not. It shouldn't even be relatively close.
I mean, if they're able to like stack the numbers there, then maybe, but that's not the case.
If it's a straight 5v5, 100 wins every time.
Yeah.
If it's a 4v5 and Kaiser's bot, then
honestly, the fact that Katsuri gets like is Katsuri still behind though from Luger, at least in XP.
He should be pretty. It should be even enough. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Here comes the solo Boa.
Like yeah, that would happen if I don't know. What
yeah, so he buffered the W there. It's well played from Tenacity.
Like if he had that last time, well, the time I was talking about before.
Oh boy!
He didn't just randomly use it before.
That's a really good setup from Pum Demonte. Really good setup. Watch this. Watch Demonte sit on Vision. A really good play.
Yes, but why is he walking top?
Because there's a execute going and they're going to trade it, but they can't. This is an illegal maneuver that gets punished.
Yeah, I mean he can't walk top ever.
Yeah.
So while he has set up good, that if he does walk top, it works.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be walking top.
Yep.
So I don't really actually like that about 100 Thieves. It worked great.
And there's nothing else for Demonte to do there, so I think it's actually a nice play. He just goes back on the wave next. It's fine. I think it's an opportunistic play. They end up finding the opportunity, so they're okay losing these two dragons. I think that being up in gold really important for 100 Thieves. You can win without soul. It's fine. As ult's wasted, and now look at what we have on the Rift. Kenvi soaked all the XP in those waves, and he is up 2 levels on Keel.
I don't know how CLG plays from this point on. I don't think they really can. Besides just being better, that's.
I mean, you can find Nocturne Rel engages.
Under who?
It's tough. That's a good point.
Nidalee's like the only one that can maybe look, and Nidalee's still. Nidalee, like it's
Kevin just got his flash and his Krugs.
Like, there's no way for them to actually look to go in, and then if they're going in, they're only going in with like 2 members. It's very awkward for like Rise, Zaya.
Rise wins both side lanes, but He can get ported on.
Not at this point. Rise doesn't win both side lanes until a bit later.
Right. Yeah, he needs a little bit of time, but he does win both side lanes down the road.
Eventually, yeah. But right now, Volibear and Renekton will both run him. Also, if Demonte's going Prowler's Call, why is he going Conqueror?
You still stack up Conqueror insanely fast on Renekton if you get the Empower W.
But if you go in Prowler's Call, it's better to go plus attack.
I mean, you still get Conqueror stacked up if you're going Prowler's Claw with like 1 Empower W.
But you're playing
you
for
get
one
instant.
shot.
Yeah.
You're playing for like one shot. Fully commit to it. Don't try to do 2 different things.
I actually love the animation for Prowler's Claw. It just feels like it's just not thought out at all, and the champion is like literally you just see them like walk teleport, like super janky. Looks like Smash. Isn't much need for the tenacity on Rise. I think that this is like just the only MR he's gonna get in his build, and he feels like it's okay. I also think that the ability haste boots on Rise, the Lucidities, are a little overrated. Just because, like, I mean, like, he's machine guns either way, right?
I mean, but that's it. I mean,
It's really nice for his W, but, like, it's the only, like, ability, like, he actually, like, really benefits, right?
Here I mean, comes... he still benefits quite a lot, also.
Yeah, it's a 4-second cooldown, though, so he's not getting as much out of that, right?
Yeah. Still does.
So that's our second Nocturne ult that wasn't able to be used. It feels like CLG is not able to find anything. Good defense actually from Tian.
Yeah, Nocturne can't ult anywhere. I mean, this should just be. If Nidalee should just choose to play like Renekton side, and if he just plays Renekton side, whatever side, like the top tier 2 or bot tier 1 will just fall for free. I don't necessarily like they're playing the bot side here. I mean, they play for both, that's fine, but I don't think it needs to happen.
Well, they found Kenvi, but oh, that's a big spear. Kenvi got out. He burned everything, but he got out. So that's a window they might be able to punish now. They still lose. I'd love to see CLG like clean up their like early macro play a little bit, because it feels like they're able to find good angles in fights, right? Like we've seen that in all 3 games, but they're fighting at such a big deficit by the time like they're finding those, right? I think a part of it is a little bit of disrespect coming out from 100 Thieves, but there's been some like legitimately good team fights that if CLG are on even footing, like they win, right? But they aren't, so they just lose. Oh, Katsuri doesn't have to flash that. If he trusts hooks to use the stun, you can stop the combo. I know that he's into terrain. It's a little bit risky, but I feel like you have to trust that at that point. I think it would have been headbutted over the wall with the angle.
I mean, do you not have Gale Force either?
Wait, how did Rise die?
He died.
Oh, he was rotating. He went greedy path to rotate, and he got 3-manned.
Also, yeah, this was mentioned earlier about playing Nocturne.
And then, yeah, Demonte Prowler's Claw.
It is such a terrible comp for CLG.
Yeah, I mean, it feels real bad now. Kenvi's got a lot of levels on him.
Oh, I really like what 100 Thieves was doing here.
I saw this live, and this is actually really gross.
So win this. Like, they hard win this.
Not necessarily, but...
Well, that shouldn't happen.
Demonte plays this fight very well in Renekton, too, if I'm not mistaken. This Luger. Oh, wait, no, it's not this fight. Sorry. Not that one. But Luger still cleans up. It's fine.
The worst thing for Demonte there is that I don't think they had any idea he was there.
Dude, Luger's actually so crazy on Kai'Sa. I'm pretty high on Luger. Like, as ADs in Academy, but his Kai'Sa is, like, really, really, really good.
I really hate Demonte's build.
Prowler's Claw on the Sterix. At least he got the stopwatch.
He's trying to play two different styles of reacting at once.
I think I think he just wants the Prowler's Claw for the active, honestly. Like, just to stick on the carries.
But you can just go stride break in.
This is true.
Doesn't do the exact same thing, but does pretty similar, and has better stats for trying to play team fights and stick on someone.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you with the two things at once. I don't know. I don't know enough about the build, honestly, to say if it's really good. Wow. So CLG gets their big engage. Oh, watch this. This is so cool. Good. Yeah, that's the point where I was watching. Hold on. So Hook's Fine's a really good one on a control ward. Honestly, 100 Thieves are really disrespectful here.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even play mid-wave here.
Yeah, they just don't respect that at all, right?
They could definitely play mid-wave better, but they don't even play it. Like,
yeah, they aren't respecting it from CLG, and they still have like a lot of stuff down, right? Actually, they don't have anything down. They just didn't respect it. That was really cool from Luger. Tragic Kai'Sa lives there. Luger played that really well. He Kale forced the initial engage and then that ult out because the other side of the fight was cool.
The problem with it, yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves should have just got bot tier 2 bot camps. That should have been theirs.
Yep. So now it's Dragon setup. Also, off of this, Kenby's gotten so far ahead. Like, Jesus. 15 to 12. I know that at this point I was listening to the cast, too. The caster's picking it out.
I like what TOG was looking for top, but Demonte sniffed it out pretty well. It's not a terrible look. I think, based off what they were looking for top, I think they recognized this game as like really lost.
CLG.
Yeah.
No, CLG, like, they have decent recognition of, like, game states, and, like, they're good at finding angles, just like that early game. Like, it feels like they don't draft for early game at all, and, like, they just... Like, game 2, they had some really nice responses, which, like, pretty much won them the game, but this, like, the other games, like, they just didn't, right? And they took a couple flips that they didn't need to. I know they're trying to, like, reincorporate Keel. I have hope that, like, these guys might be able to do okay, but I think I had them, like, D tier still. To be fair, like, I had Zeus in D tier, or C tier. I have him C tier. I had Zeus in that tier, and like I said, like, they'd be like the 9th best team because I had half the tournament in the lowest 2 tiers. So it was just a big difference between these teams and the rest. I was actually kind of surprised CLG won a game, but they played pretty well in that game, so I was happy about that. They recognized what they needed to do, right? So now it's this is the fight that Demonte played really well. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how these fights are probably a bit closer than they should be. Even I don't think these should even be this close. I think CLG's actually played these fights pretty well. For like what?
Yeah, they are. Like they're good at finding angles and punishing windows. Like that's like I enjoy watching this team at that. I feel like you know, it's a strength of theirs. Nice engage.
Yeah, like these the fight should really be looking like they.
Yeah, that was a really good find. Katsura, I guess, just doesn't respect the chem tank, and then Kenvi, holy shit. That's what good Nidalee gameplay looks like right there. Okay. Alright, so that's all we got here.
Yeah, I mean, I think CLG was helped really well to win Game 2. Game 1 was playable. Game 3 was not playable, I don't think. Like, obviously it's still playable, but, like, if both teams play somewhat okay, it should not be playable.
Yeah, no, I agree. Alright, man. Well, thanks for going over these games with me. I appreciate it. It's late for me, so I'm probably gonna wrap up here real soon. But I'll let you go here in a sec. But before you go, is there anything that like you want to say or promote? I know I've had the command like guest in here for anyone that's like done it, like shoots them over to your Twitter. And do you like any shout outs for like ISU or anything like that?
I mean, no, I guess just my Twitter. You can follow me there. I don't really post about too much league stuff, but I've been trying to do more like analyst stuff. Like I was on UPL desk like a week or two ago. Trying to do more of that type of stuff. Do actual any sort of public content.
Public content.
Yeah.
As I know, good old Wolverine's in the chat too. So we might be seeing Wolverine actually one of these days. Could be fun. So yeah. Anyway, nothing besides that. All right. Well, dude, it was great having you on. I really appreciate it. Let's see. So Illinois State, they're at Redbirds Esports. You guys just won UPL. Congrats. You still are in your C-ball season, right? Are you guys still going through the North?
North finished. We sadly lost in the championship.
So you guys going in second seed?
Yeah, lost 1-3 to Maryville. Pretty sad about that, but
no shame in losing to Maryville. They're a good team.
Yeah, very close games at least.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna hop out of here and let you go. But thanks so much for joining me tonight. And yeah, go check out Michael or Pater at the tweet link that I have above /Pater Michael. So yeah. All right, thanks, man. I had an awesome time. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Have a good night then. See ya.
Yep, you too. Okay. We're out of there. That was awesome for him to join. I'm excited to talk to a lot of the collegiate coaches and people that reached out. We're going to have a nice list of guests throughout the week, next week as well. So, we'll see. We'll have more collegiate coaches. We'll have some Proving Grounds coaches as well, and maybe even some players too. I had a couple of them reach out to me. So, yeah. Before we wrap, we do have a few more things to take care of, a little bit more housekeeping. So I don't want to fully wrap soon. Also, you guys need to find someone to raid, someone fun. So we'll go back to this. Little housekeeping, right? We did this at the start of the stream. We went over our predictions, right? So far, I am 50% perfect. I have one where I got TSM drop the game, right? So I'm a little bit off there. And then I had one where I was wrong. EG came out with a really good early game, actually. I also did player of the day yesterday. Player of the day today is actually a little bit tougher. Fuck. Start with not player of the days, but honorable mentions. I think Darkwings for sure. Darkwings had a really good day. Actually, low-key, think that Hooks had a decent day. I know that Lane didn't, or yeah, I know that CLG ended up losing. I thought that Hooks looked pretty decent today. Obviously, Kenvi. I don't know. Kenvi might be my player of the day. Because he's so dominant in game 1 and 4. He literally just straight up wins the game for them in game 1 or 4. I think Kenvi might be my player of the day. He's so good, man. 2 junglers, 2 Nidalee players so far. It helps that it looks flashy. Yeah, Darkwings was really good today. Fuck. You know what? We're gonna give it. We'll give it to Darkwings for the day. Zeus had a sick win. He was really clutch in that last game. I know that Kenby was too, but I was impressed by Darkwings. I thought his mage play is really solid. Any honorable mentions from TSM that looked good in their win? Not really. I thought Hooks looked really, really good game too, and I still like seeing the good things out of CLGA where like they're finding windows where like cooldowns are down and all that. So I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that. All right, predictions for tomorrow. We gotta do some more housekeeping here. We'll do that. Does that help you guys a little bit? What is gonna happen with Kenby if he will be 100 Thieves? I don't know, man. Kenby's really freaking good. They're either gonna keep him or they're gonna sell him for a lot of money. He's worth it. My predictions for tomorrow. These are not decided. I've been thinking about this a lot. I made this before the stream started. A part of me really, really, really wants to take Wildcard. But I think that Dignitas's biggest weakness is that JJ doesn't roam that well, and Daption doesn't roam as much just because that they play towards Team Luke. And I think that the meta for Dignitas fits a tad bit better, but I'm not set on that. I think that this is actually a very, very close matchup. Also, the second game is really tough for me because I haven't seen No Org in a long time. I still think that they're a top-tier team for me in this tournament, and I expect No Org to top 4. But I think that Golden Guardians has significantly improved. And I think it's harder on these patches to set up for top dive. And I trust that No Org is going to still be really good at that. But I'm going to give Golden Guardians one game where Prismal goes off and No Org like flubs the thing one or like here or there. I think that this could easily be a 2-0. I think that the first series could easily go both ways. I would not rate my confidence level on these predictions very high at all. Yeah, what OPTSM fan just said, if that happened, would not be surprised. I think I felt, honestly, today, I felt so confident coming into this one. CLG surprised me a little bit with Hooks' counterplay. Hooks had some really nice counter roams. I'm really torn on Dig versus Wildcard because I'm not high on Dig, and I think that Wildcard is actually like, I think they can do it. But yeah. Anyway, all right. Give me a sec. I need a cough drop super bad. I was struggle busing, so give me a sec. I'm gonna get one of those. Well, then we'll wrap up. Switchbox, your opinion on JJ? I agree. I think Daption is better, but JJ's biggest weakness is roaming and his roam timers. Daption just doesn't roam as much. Yeah, Cadians dig jungle. We'll see. This is very draft dependent. Okay, I got a few updates for you guys though. Anyway, I might think about this. This might be different when I tweet it out tomorrow, but I think this is like fun, right? Like I said, I'm trying to like, I put a lot of time into like prep for when I'm on broadcast, and I think this is a good way for me to go over all the games because I'm on as many of the broadcasts. Then also features some more people that I think are pretty smart in the scene, and also connect with more people. I haven't connected with Pater yet, but really nice guy and helping run a killer program over at ISU. So yeah. All right, tomorrow's guest is going to be Colomer. That will start at the conclusion of whenever my Risen matches finish up. As Miami, Ohio, we are competing in Risen tomorrow. So I still am part-time coach there. That comes first. About the call with me, Max Brismal. Yeah. So it's going to be Colomer tomorrow. That may start later than the game's end. We will see. Also, y'all lost to Akumi yet? No, man. We're not going to drop a single series in that tournament. What, are you fucking kidding me? I don't know. Good luck in Risen. Will it be streamed? Probably not. We'll see. Also, tomorrow, I'm going on Tim's podcast. So that will be over at his channel, starting at 11 a.m. PST, which is 2 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to talk Proving Grounds. So I'm not sure if we're going to talk... I don't know like what his list of topics is yet. I'm just guessing we're going to talk a lot about this. What we've seen so far. Zoos over TSM. It's really not a surprise you've been following the space, but yeah. I do have a long day tomorrow. Also, I'm getting lunch with a friend too. So I'm looking forward to that before all that boots up for me. Yeah, that's my plan. And I'm going to try and squeeze in a run. Because I ran Commitment to the Amateur Scene. It's awesome, man. Love to see it. Thanks, Shadow Visions. I mean, I work part-time in the morning. And those, like, not always busy. So I got some extra time. And then I coach Miami. I'm very fortunate with where I'm at right now. Where I can, like, do this. Because financially, it's not the greatest move. But I like it a lot. And I'm trying to make it as a Riot caster. So I have to fucking grind. This is how we grind. Yeah, I'm getting lunch with an old friend I haven't seen in a while, so I'm really excited to see her. But yeah, so we're going to do that. We got the podcast, then we have my tournament, and we have VoD reviews tomorrow. So I will keep you guys posted on VoD reviews. Give me a follow, though, on the socials, if you guys want to keep up with all that. Ah, there we go. Social, not socials. I don't even know my own stream. Also, I had new emotes yesterday. We swapped out one of them. So you're going to notice I had Cubby 420. I will bring that back soon or keep it. I'm going to make it a tier 2 or tier 3. But the Cubby W with like the bad mustache, I got to do it. I got to do the Cubby W. So.
I did not get the job at Fruit Loops.
Shadow Visions, thanks for the follow. You guys actually don't know. So he's the TLA color caster with Travesty, but also used to compete in, I forget your school, but you played mid, and we're discussing Assassin player, really known for his Ari. And they usually got pretty far in, you guys were in the South, right? The South was bad. Yeah, NC State. Yeah, that was it. We would scrim on sometimes at Miami. But yeah, overall, stand-up human. Appreciate you dropping in with the Travesty raid. So yeah. Your name a Hearthstone reference. Yeah, we can get into all that. Anyway, I'm going to stay live for another 5 minutes to wrap up if you guys have any questions or anything like that. But besides that, feel free to hop out. And if not, we're going to find someone to raid. Hopefully a part of the amateur scene. I know I saw Whooply. I like Whooply. That's cool. Niles is live. Griffin's live. I think I raided Griffin last time. Oh, Odd Orange. He's always streaming. Also, oh, you know what? All right, this is what we got to do. We're rating Team Nuke 1v9. See Fizzy. I'm on that train, man. I think that Wildcard have a really good chance tomorrow. But I'm like 55-45 for Dig, because I think that the Dig's macro is so rough though. I actually think Wildcard like had better early game macro. I just think it might be a little bit harder for them to execute. And if Panda's not on Udyr, I don't have as much faith. And I think Udyr Hecarim, like I think blue side's gonna be really good for Wildcard, but we'll see. Fuck. That prediction is gonna be like really tough for me to decide. 65-35 Dig. Yeah, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a close series. The Noorg GGA ones, bigger question marks for me. I just don't know what Noorg's gonna look like. Team Nuke do well. I'm a big fan of Team Nuke. I think Team Nuke's really good. Daption too. I've heard good things about Wildcard from the Scrim rumors, but you guys see stage. We saw a lot of them on stage in Giant Slayer. So, and Giant Slayer was fun because like we streamed every game and I was on half of them. So I got like I was really prepped on all those teams. Yeah. All right. Here's the move, guys. In honor of Zeus Gaming winning, all right, I will raid